Good evening, everyone, from Falcon Field at Fauquier High School, beautiful Warrenton, Virginia. Tonight's beautiful broadcast for high school football. Here we are back. We, meaning the Culpeper Media Network. We're live tonight, of course. And I'm Mark O'Connell, your play-by-play guy. And, you know, this fellow to the left of me, kind of a local icon, fellow by the name of Steve Peacock. Steve, you've been to Fauquier many times over the course of not only our broadcasting history, but your affiliation with Culpeper and the connection with sports. Fauquier and Culpeper have a long-standing rivalry, but not so much in recent years, and they sort of maybe begin to reestablish that.
Yeah, they are. But they're really, Faukier's down this year. Culpeper's off to 0-2 start, and Faukier's 0-2. But we've been coming here for years. It's always going to be a backyard rivalry anyway. And now that they're in Double-A, and Culpeper's always been Double-A, you're probably going to see them playing more because the disparity used to be when Culpeper was Double-A, they were Triple-A, and then vice versa. When we became Triple-A, they became Double-A. And so we played them over the years. They play us tough, and and I expect a tough ball game tonight from the Falcons. They're 0-2, and just like Culpeper, but they're competitive. And what I said, Culpeper's going to have to be on its toes tonight if they want to come out of here with a win.
Well, and I think Coach Ford will agree. In fact, we talked a little bit about that as head coach. At least on paper, it looks like an even matchup tonight. So it's a 50-50. Both teams can be in there. I think in terms of similar talent levels and that sort of thing at this point, both teams like to say 0-2. So maybe, Culpeper can finally get some blocking for Bennett Sutherland, and then maybe Fauquier can establish itself. It hasn't scored many points. And Steve started last week with a power I formation. They went with that for the most part, and they changed it up in the fourth quarter, went back to more single tight end set and the slot receiver, that sort of thing. So they're going to mix it up some. Over the years, we've known them to be so multiple that with their misdirection, it seems like that's kind of the thing of the past now.
Yeah, I know. I think they want to play more power football or run the ball because that suits their offense and their personnel. Whereas before, the wide open, They used to love to fling it around. I know that. But now Culpeper, what they've got to do is what I've said in the last two games. If Culpeper can control the line of scrimmage, both defensively and offensively, they will win this football game. If they don't, it's going to be another long night for the Blue Devils and not very happy feelings over on that sideline with Coach Ford and his staff.
Yeah, that's the key. Big question is, can they? And I guess we'll find out, of course, tonight. So that's our pregame for the most part. I do want to tell you, though, maybe we'll have sort of a special surprise for the viewing audience, say, sometime around the third quarter.
Okay.
What do you think?
Let's do it.
Now, let's keep it to ourselves. My lips are sealed, Steve. I'm not saying a word.
I'm not either.
All right. Well, I think you'll enjoy it. So, anyway, that'll be something we look forward to. Right now, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have tonight's kickoff featuring these two teams behind me, your homestanding Fauquier Falcons and your visiting Blue Devils. Keep it right here on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Son. More than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast, where team captains here have decided how tonight's Game is going to begin. So, who won the toss, Steve?
Culpeper.
And they deferred?
Correct.
Fauquier will receive. All right, welcome aboard. Again, Mark O'Connell alongside Steve Peacock, Johnny Krawchuk behind the camera, Nicole Wooten back in the studio of the Culpeper Media Network. Thank you, Nicole. We are live with her help and assistance. Couldn't do without her, of course. Tonight, it's Falcons of Fauquier, 0-2. Taking on the visiting Blue Devils, Steve Peacock, 0-2 as well. So these two teams similarly situated and perhaps similarly talented.
Both, Mark, and size-wise, well, really, Culpeper, if you had anything differential, would be Culpeper's size. They're look bigger than Fauquier, especially across that line of scrimmage. But Fauquier's got some athletes. They always play us hard, so it's going to be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to calling it with you here at Falcon Field and outside. Nice evening, sunny skies, no humidity, and ready for Culpeper to kick it off. What do you say?
Yeah, I am definitely ready for that. I'm looking forward to not only a football game, but one that we sort of forecast as being closely matched up and hopefully closely contested with, you want to see the Blue Devils get a win, of course. It'd be nice to have an entertaining game. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have an entertaining game here.
RJ Uribe has teed it up for the Blue Devils. Will be kicking off wearing their white jerseys, blue pants, blue helmets, and kicking off to the Falcons. Dominant color here, of course, at Fauquier is red. Red, gray, and white, the team colors. Kickoff, Uribe, it's short. It's going to be bobbled, misplayed, but good bounce of the ball for the Falcons. They recover it, and they'll take over on offense inside their 25-yard line. Steve will get a look at the Falcon offense to start things tonight. I don't know what they're going to draw up, but they did go in the power I predominantly last week in the loss against Princeville District. We used to know them as a misdirection team, so I like a power I because it reminds me of the NFL.
Right, and I do too, more. It's power football, but we'll see. I mean, if they can penetrate that D line and get to that second level, then they'll stick with the run. But also, I look for a lot of rollout passes with that quarterback for Fauquier. And like I said, our defensive line's just got to be ready and keep up pressure and don't quit.
All right, from the 23-yard line, the Falcons start things here on offense. Man in motion, they hand it to him. The ball is bobbled on the field, fumbled, and Blue Devils, it looked like, have recovered it here on first down. The miscue by Fauquier, and this could be, a very bad thing for the Falcons to start things. Can the Blue Devils capitalize, of course, will be the question.
Right, Mark, and Tanner Griffin, number 8, is the one who recovered that football, and it just dropped. This is going to really help the Blue Devils and get a turnover against Fauquier right on the first play of the game on the kickoff, with their first offensive set. Now, can Culpeper capitalize on this offensive opportunity in the red zone?
Bennett Sutherland's back there. Of course, looks like we've got Jakari Edwards in the lineup tonight, Steve. On the left of Bennett Sutherland, and that's Polari, the fullback. This is the handoff to Jakari Edwards, and that is straight ahead football, Steve. That's what we call smash mouth, straight ahead, resulted in positive yardage.
Right, he sat out of both the Eastern View and Orange game due to injuries on his ankle, I heard, but he is now running with a lot of power, and he's anxious to get in there, and that was a good play by the Blue Devil offensive line, too. And that's what they got to do, Mark. They got to get leverage, get under those pads of the Falcons, and drive them back.
Well said. 6 yards on first down for Jakari Edwards. Man in motion is Plaster. Sutherland, your quarterback in the gun. Will the protection holds up. He rolls right to throw it, incomplete. And that was a diving A.J. Marshall trying to bring it in for the Blue Devils. But, Steve, it's third down. But it's a manageable third down for this team with 3rd and 4 to go.
Yeah, it sure is, Mark. But see, if Sutherland could get a little more time on that and go down his progressive reads, he would have had Plaster wide open. But he pulled it down and started to run. You've got to be able to stay in there and stay against that pass rush and step up in that pocket. If he just steps up, then he'll have a wide open throwing lane to throw to.
All right, here is third down and a short 4, long 3. Plaster in motion. Handoff, Jakari. No, they fake it to him. Open receiver caught inside the 5-yard line. Was
It's a flag.
Oh, a flag down. Okay.
It's against Culpeper, I think.
I was trying to pick up the receiver there. I started to pick up from here, and got a little glare on the monitor as well. I can check the ball.
Holding against the Blue Devils. See, that's the thing we didn't talk about during the pregame. Mistakes and turnovers. And here was a mistake right here, holding penalty. And that's going to be put Blue Devils back out of the red zone, starting on their own 22-yard line.
To a costly penalty here against the Blue Devils. They had it 3rd and 3. Now it's 3rd down and about 13 or 14. Ball at the 23-yard line. Opening minutes here this first quarter were scoreless. Blue Devils on their first possession. Sutherland rolls left, throws downfield, nearly picked off. Great play by the defender there. Fauquier's number 10, Eli Beinecker. So now we've got a 4th and 14, Steve, and time for the Blue Devils to make a decision here.
Yeah, I mean, the ball's on the 23,
Right.
30, be a 40-yard field goal. I think they're going to have to go 40 mark, and not the field goal. But again, Plaster's got to look too. The only criticism there is he's got to come to the ball. He was waiting for the ball to come in. He's got to know he's got pressure on his back and step up. That would have been pass interference if he just stepped up.
All right, and now it's 4th and 14. Blue Devils have to convert or they turn it over here. Here's Sutherland. Going to throw to the end zone. Incomplete because the receiver ran out of a lot of real estate there, and that was was it number 24, Marshall?
Yeah.
But here's the problem. They had the ball, Steve, off the turnover at the Falcon, 18-yard line. Then they went backwards. Then they went out.
That's what you got to do. If you get a turnover or a penalty against your opponent, you got to make them pay. Culpeper didn't make them pay, and then that really lofted pass by Sutherland, he got a little bit too much air under it, and he's got to be a little more accurate. He's got to learn, he'll get better as the game goes on. Stay in that pocket.
Quarterback is Ben Nolan for the Fauquier Falcons. Primary running back is Mason Hamilton. He gets the carry. Straight ahead he goes. Maybe a yard or two. All right, we are at Falcon Field. First quarter action. 10-10, clock running, scoreless. Here between the Falcons and Blue Devils. We are live tonight, and of course our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air. Answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system, there's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. Falcons send the man in motion. They go on the ground to Hamilton. Straight ahead he goes. Good defense that time, Steve, by that in front line for the Blue Devils, who stiffened up there and didn't let Hamilton get on track.
Yeah, they got also Jakari Edwards playing on defense too, at one of the linebacker spots, and that's a big plus for the Blue Devils because he's attacking the football and he was in on that tackle.
Now it's 3rd down and about 7 yards to go for a Falcon first down. We mentioned the quarterback is Ben Noland. He's a sophomore. Primary ball carrier, number 33, is Mason Hamilton. All right, here's Nolan. Punt fake's going to keep it. Steps up, going to be tackled at about the 25-yard line. Good play by the Blue Devil defense there again, Steve. They limited him to about a yard gain, and maybe not even that and that.
Yeah, that was Tanner Griffin, number 80, on that play, Mark, and he stood his ground. He absorbed the block, shed the blocker, was able to get the quarterback. Good play, good tackle.
All right, the punter is Christian Friedel. Let's pick up the return man there, his number. Steve, if you can pick it up. Okay, 24 is A.J. Marshall. Line drive kick. Can Marshall get under it? Nope, he's going to have to watch it bounce away from him, and then the Falcons will down it inside the Blue Devil 35-yard line at the 33. That's where the Blue Devils will take over and go on offense for the second time here tonight. Scoreless again, I say, with 8:27 to play here in the first quarter. Steve?
Yeah, and right now that's Blue Devils now get the ball back, Mark, and see if they can march down against this Falcon defense. They look like right now the offensive line is playing pretty decent. They're getting drive and push off the ball, led there by their center, and that would be Tucker Dean.
Tucker Dean, we talked about in the preseason and throughout our broadcast this year that, of course, he's the only returning starter on that offensive line from a year ago, and they've moved him to center this year. building around that center position.
Correct.
All right, here it is, 1st and 10. Blue Devils take over at their 33-yard line. Sutherland going to hand off Jakari Edwards over left tackle, spins his way and fights across the 35 out to about the 37. And that's a pickup of at least 4 yards in the play. Call it 5.
And Mark, hey, if you get 5 yards on first down carry, keep running it. Keep running that play and keep attacking that side. Because it looks like Culpeper's got some strong, they've got some strong linemen, but they've got some good blocking. And with Jakari Edwards is a power back, strong kid, he's able to get those yards and get under the pads. Keep his feet moving.
All right, 2nd down and 5. And that offensive line, got to be feeling a little bit better about how things are going so far tonight. Throwing over the outside the reach of A.J. Marshall. He would have caught it about the 40-yard line for a pickup of 2 yards anyway. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and 5, see, from this spot.
And you know, Mark, I mean, right now, Bennett Sutherland is not very accurate with his throwing right now. He's got to calm down a little bit and, relax and throw that football. But right now, I'd just be feeding Edwards. Boom.
Well, I was going to say, I like what Jakari Edwards has been doing. He's running north-south. He's getting 3 or 4 yards a carry. And, you do that 2 or 3 times, so you get first downs, right?
Yeah, you wear down that defensive line.
There he goes. He got a seam, busted through it, and then his tackle just shy of midfield. We were just talking about it. Way to run it.
Yep, perfect. Running right off left tackle, left guard, right in between he went right between the Blue Devil offensive linemen who were driving their men 4 and 5 yards off the ball. They keep doing that.
Yep.
Blue Devils are going to chew up clock and can win this game.
He got a good opening from his offensive line up there, Steve, and then he powered through it, didn't he?
He sure did.
Picked up 12 yards, Blue Devil first down. They do mark the ball right at midfield, where it's 1st and 10 Blue Devils, approaching the midway mark of this first quarter, and we are scoreless so far. Oh, watch out! This is picked off. He put it in the air, and Eli Bodeker comes over and picks it off for the interception. By the Falcons and a touchdown. I'm going to think it was about a 60-yard pick, if you guys, unofficially about 60 yards.
Yeah, about 60 yards, and that was a wounded duck bark thrown up there. I mean, I saw it coming. I mean, that defensive back for the Falcons read it the whole way, and he saw it, but that's when your offensive receivers also now can become a defensive back. He just let the guy step right in front of him, and when it's hung up in the air like that, you've got to have, I know you don't have eyes from back of your head, but you got to know you got pressure from behind.
Yep.
You got to make sure you don't get the ball.
Well, number 22, the place kicker is Kobe Link. He's going to try to tack on the extra point to make it a 7-0 game. Low snap. They get it down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. 7-0 our score. Falcon favor with 6:41 to play in this first quarter. Well, Steve, I thought on that 3rd down play that the Blue Devils had it, and they just picked up that 12-yard gainer by Jakari Edwards. He threw that pass, and the coverage, was there to begin with, but then I thought it was too slow getting to the intended receiver.
You're absolutely right, Mark. Too slow in developing, and again, why are you going away from the run game? If the run game's going to get you 6 to 10 yards a pop, you keep doing it. I mean, I understand you want to use the run to set up the pass. I do that. I get that. But that pass right there was another wounded duck throwing it right up there. And, the defensive back didn't have to really, he said, if I make a play and advance on this ball, I've got 6.
Yep,
and
sure
that's
did.
exactly what he did.
Pick 6, nobody around to challenge him as he made an easy gallop into the end zone. 7-0 our score. This broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book fair trade value along with a free appraisal. That's Battlefield Automotive, 540-547-3673. Well, Kobe Link has teed it up for the Falcons, who currently enjoy an early 7-0 lead with 6:41 to play here in this first quarter. And here is Link's kickoff. Keep it on the ground. Call it a squib kick. And then number 16 there for the Blue Devils, Steve, that's Devon Cooper. He wisely watched it go out of bounds, and the Blue Devils will have it, at the 35?
35
or 40?
40 now. I know it's 40 in college and 40 in the pros, so we'll see what the
call is.
40.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be at the 40.
If that's the case, that's going to be very good field position for the Blue Devils. Well, if you're just tuning in, Blue Devils had an opportunity last time when they had that turnover to them. Took over in the red zone, came away with no points, and then the interception.
No, I apologize. It is the 35.
Okay, well, that's fine. So here we are with the Blue Devils trailing 7-0. They do take over on offense. They'll start this one from their own 35. Bennett Sutherland, handoff. This is Devin Polari. And there you go. That's another north-south runner who can be a bruising type player who's good for 3 or 4 yards of pop as well. In fact, he got 60.
I've been using Polari and Jakari Edwards all night long, Mark. You know, maybe throw a couple screen passes, but I would be doing that. And you know you can run against this defense.
To go back to the run, just like you said. Now this time the Falcons are there to stack this one up before they can get going. And we got a penalty flag comes in at the end of that play.
And I think it's going to be against Fauquier. It's going to be a first down for the Blue Devils as a, unnecessary roughness against Fauquier.
And what we're seeing tonight, it's a face mask.
Face mask against Culpeper.
Wow, how about that?
Where did that come in? I mean, that was after the play was even over.
Oh, I see. It was a hands to the face mask.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and you just don't expect that to work against the offensive face mask call.
Yeah.
Usually it's all typically on the defense.
It is.
And they push it all the way back to the 27-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 41.
And Mark, we've seen this playbook before. This play. Culpeper, it looks like they dominate, but they're letting penalties and turnovers get, and now they're behind.
Back at the 27 it is for them. Second down and 18. Here's Bennett Sutherland. Going to be pressured in the backfield. This one tipped, deflected, and unable to come up with the interception was the Falcon defensive back out there. Now we've got a third down and 18. So this is, I'm not going to say it's a precarious situation for the Blue Devils, Steve, but it's one in which they don't want to make a mistake.
No, you're right, and they don't want to make a mistake, but they also got to learn, hey, mistakes do happen in football. They got to, they still, the whole lot of the ball game left. When watching their attitude, looking to see how they're responding right now to this little adversity. They need to work through this and get back to their offense that I know they can play.
So you're going to be checking the demeanor, on-field demeanor. All right. Setting up the screen, unable to do so. That might have, I'm not sure. They were trying to get it to Jakari Edwards, and the blocker out there in front was going to be Culpeper's number 63, and that is Jason Young. Instead, incomplete pass brings in the punting team.
Well, Mark, what I saw in that play, too, is that Jakari Edwards has got to break away from his lineman a little bit. He was in the lineman, he was all mixed in, and Sutherland couldn't really see him. Sutherland's been trained to throw to a spot, and because Edwards has been injured, they probably have not a lot of time to work on their timing on that play.
All right. RJ Uribe stands inside his 15, near the 10. And David Mayfield is the man back for the Falcons. Protection holds. Short kick, but a high kick. Let's check the bounce. Goes straight up, and they'll have to down it. But it's on the Falcons side of that midfield stripe, Steve. But excellent field position for the Falcons when they come back after the two teams reset here. And they're up 7-0. Well, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. That's Found & Sons, 825-3530. Steve, your assessment so far for both teams?
Well, right now, Falcons take advantage of a poorly thrown ball and take it in for 6. And then they also, Culpeper's had a couple penalties cost them, but now there's a penalty against the Falcons for holding, I believe, or blocking the back, and so now they're starting on their territory.
Yeah, because they were going to have it up here close to the midfield, right?
Right.
They put it back to the 37-yard line. and the Falcons load up this left side with 3 receivers. Nolan steps up, throws, good-looking pass, good-looking arm, but nice coverage out there. That's pick up the Blue Devils. Is that 28?
Yeah.
All right, that's Talik Thomas on the coverage, and the intended pass for number 27, Trayvon Bumbry. Well, I think that play showed us Nolan's got a pretty good arm.
He does.
That was a good-looking spiral pass. Plenty of distance on it. Great coverage by the Blue Devils secondary.
Good coverage by the Blue Devils. Didn't let him really get too, far behind them. A little bit of hand-to-hand combat going on there, but the officials let that go. And yeah, good. And that quarterback can throw it.
Yes, he can. All right. It is 2nd and 10. Falcons, Ben Nolan, Blue Devils, pressure. And Hamilton's able to run past that. Then he gets across midfield, makes the most of it. Nothing flashy, just good, solid play by the offense, and capped by the run by Josh Hamilton, their leading ball carrier this year.
Well, Culpeper's got to learn, Mark, not to give that edge to Fauquier. Once he got around that corner, he had plenty cleared sailing because our defensive end didn't play contain. He was going upfield trying to get to the quarterback, and they just did a little trap play and let him come right up the field and boom, run right in behind him.
Absolutely. Hamilton's back there as the tailback. Ben Nolan, the quarterback. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Clock at 5:07. Hamilton, the ball carrier. This time the Blue Devils are waiting for him and wrap him up for a loss. Jakari Edwards spearheading that defensive play, Steve. You obviously put your best athletes on the field at all times, and I think Jakari Edwards is certainly that.
Yeah, because he missed the first 2 games. Not only is he a good running back, he's a heck of a defender, linebacker. He gets in there, shoots at his gaps quick, and was able to bring the heat to the Fauquier Falcons.
The Blue Devils missed him when he was not in the lineup. Here's the pitch. Hamilton 40, 35, makes a cut, and then as he's being tackled, he's pushed forward to about the 25-yard line. Well, that's a 15-yard pickup by Hamilton, but we've got a penalty flag down. Is it going to be a holding against the Falcons?
It's going to be holding against Fauquier.
Steve, as they assess this one, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. And CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing, an outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. All right, 4:27 to play. First quarter, 7-0 Falcons. After the penalty, they're pushed back to their own 43, and it's 2nd down and about 13. All right, here's Ben Nolan. He's got time. They swing it out to Hamilton. Really on that short screen, Hamilton gets to the outside, makes a nice cut. Then he's tackled just shy of that 30-yard line.
They got to put a hat on number 33, Mark. And they got to find him wherever on the offense side of the football. He's getting around the edge too easy, whether it be a screen pass or a pitch. On that previous play, the pitch where the holding was called. Again, another penalty. Did the official pick it up?
I'm not sure. It almost looks like they're going to be moving
Yep.
against Falcons. At least they are anticipating they're going to. That's for sure.
It could be a block in the back or push in the back. So again, that knocks the Falcons back. But again, that 33 Hamilton's getting to the edge too quick. They got to maybe spread it out. The outside ends, the number 8 or linebacker, have got to be aware of that.
So when you say getting to the edge too quick, that implies that he's not letting the blocking develop in front of him?
Right. No, the defender is allowing him to get to the edge too
okay.
quick.
Okay.
And the blockers are out there. He's going in instead of containing on the outside.
All right, here it is. 2nd down and about 20 for Ben Nolan. Plenty of time. Throws over the middle of the field. This one's picked off by Devin Polari at the 25-yard line. Here comes Polari on the return. He's looking for a block. He's going to get one. He's at the 30. Lowers his shoulder down to the 25-yard line in Falcon territory. And that really ignited the visiting Cole Plaster. What did I say, Polari?
Yeah.
Cole Plaster.
Yep, Cole Plaster on that interception, Mark.
Wow. Well, nicely done with that pick. And they're going to have it in Falcon territory. And speaking of picks, that's how we have 6 points tonight with 1 touchdown. The pick six by the Falcon player, and then the point after, and now we have a pick here that gives the Blue Devils a good opportunity.
And Mark, again with Plaster, that was a wounded duck by Nolan too. It was floating way up there, and Plaster made a good play in that ball and brought it back. Now see if the Blue Devils can capitalize.
From the 25-yard line they go. Well, there's a little confusion in the backfield as Sutherland and Jakari Edwards ran into each other as Sutherland was trying to hand off to him. And that delay, of course, and running into each other allowed the Falcons to get in there, stop this one cold, and stop it for a loss.
Yep.
All the way back to the 30-yard line.
And plus, no one blocked number 24, the Panagans for Fauquier. They just let him come in. And Fauquier, give him a little credit. The disguising their blitzes a pretty good.
Mm-hmm. All right, here it is. 2nd and 15 for Bennett and the Blue Devils from the Falcon 30. Sutherland going to throw it. He does have a receiver coming back to the ball, and that was Garrett Damewood, Steve.
And I like that, Mark. He came to the ball. He made himself open for his quarterback. In other words, hey, throw it to me. You've got a good pocket to throw it in. I've got the outside. They can't come behind me and intercept it. That's a good receiver right there. And he made a good play.
And he sets his teammates up with a good opportunity on a 3rd and 5, which is a manageable situation. Looks like we may have a timeout here.
Yep, look, it might be against the flag. Yep.
Oh, it is a flag.
I think 53 is getting what happened.
We're going to find that pretty soon from that fellow in that white hat.
He's getting talking to. It's going to be personal foul, 15 yards. I didn't see he had to be either mouthing off or something. I didn't see.
And it's not. It's only against the Falcons, so it's going to cost them.
Yeah, but it's unnecessary roughness, Mark. He might have came across a little bit too early and kind of hit.
Well, we've got a timeout on the field. Our timeout sponsor is UBA Community Credit Union. You know, UBA Community Credit Union strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. Visit them online at ubacreditunion.org. 2:22 to play, Steve. First quarter action. And, we're outside tonight, got a great view. We've always enjoyed coming up to Falcon Field. We're going to have a special guest start the 3rd quarter.
We're looking forward to it.
I told you about that.
Yep.
Didn't I say I wasn't going to reveal names?
You're right.
My lips are sealed, Andy.
All right, Andy.
Anyway, you're looking at the Blue Devils there on the 3rd and 15 coming up after this timeout. 7-0 low-scoring game. Isn't that about what we expected?
Yeah, I don't expect a big barn burner here, up and down the field. What I do, expect is going to be some good hard-nosed football. And they just got to, Culpeper now just got to take advantage of these mistakes by the Fauquier Falcons.
That last one cost them the personal foul. Unsportsmanlike. Now the ball is at the 10-yard line. And it's first down for the Blue Devils as Jakari Edwards is looking for some running room. And he may have dropped it, and the Falcons say yes. And coming up with it for the Falcons was Chase Leeser. So a turnover, and this is the 2nd time tonight, Steve. Blue Devils got into the red zone, only to be thwarted and turned back. Nothing to show for it.
Mark this down right here. There's, I think, a pivotal turning point here in the game. Culpeper was driving, another mistake. And now Fauquier gets the ball back and killed the Blue Devil drive. And against, a decent team in Fauquier, and they're already up ahead, that just, fuels their fire a little bit. Now let's see how Culpeper see on defense and get this thing back.
All right. So the Falcons up 7-0 with 2:09 to play here in the first quarter at Falcon Field. Go back on offense, but not before we have a whistle and some stoppage.
Might have a delay or it's a legal procedure. Let's see what the... It's against Fauquier.
Well, let's mention while we can. Of course, we're at Falcon Field at Fauquier High School in Warrenton, Virginia, not far from home. And Blue Devils crosstown rival, the Cyclones, in action down at Stafford tonight.
Yep, that's going to be a good game. Stafford, they won their first game against James Monroe, got off at, been 22 straight losses, and then they beat Chancellor 7-6.
Mm-hmm.
So they're 2-0 against Easterview, 2-0.
First and 15 for the Falcons. Nolan rolls, throws, had a receiver cutting across the middle, and this is going to pay dividends for the Falcons as all the way out to the 30-yard line was number 4, David Mayfield, and a Falcon first down. Out to the 30, Steve, he picked up 29, he picked up 24 yards on the play.
This was kind of like a naked screen, and then he just took it for the took it for a long yardage. Again, missed tackles by the Blue Devils. That D-line's got to recognize when there's a screen, middle or both ends on each end. They got to recognize that if they're not getting blocked very hard, they got to look up and try to find.
Penalty flag comes down as they pitch it to Mason Hamilton. He reverses direction, and he gets just across the 30-yard line. They threw the flag in pretty soon once that play started.
It might be holding against the Falcons. We'll see.
All right.
It's going to be, holding against the So, I mean, right now, look at the gifts that the Falcons are giving the Blue Devils, and the Blue Devils aren't capitalizing. I mean, that'd be so much frustration for the coach going in at halftime.
Yeah.
Saying, look, we should be up 21-7.
I mean, how would you see? That'd be like you were trying to give me a gift. I said, no, I don't want it.
Yeah. I mean,
well, thanks a lot.
The hell with you.
I'm not very smart, am I? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take the gift. Yeah.
There you go.
So that's basically what's happened for the Blue Devils. Given the gift,
Yep.
not able to capitalize so far.
But look how they're trying to spread the Blue Devils out now too, so Hamilton can run. That's where the defense got to close down those lanes.
Hamilton, pretty good effort there.
Mason Hamilton on the carry.
And
tackled by number 56.
Looks like they have it at 23.
Second down. 50.
Clock running. Approaching the 1-minute mark here in the first quarter. Falcon Field, 7-0 Falcons, and they have it now, second down and 15 from their 24-yard line. Handoff, Hamilton trying to bounce it to break a tackle, and then he does. But then he slips and falls after he just a little bit shy of that 35-yard line. So he picked up some good yardage. We'll have a third down coming up now, and this is a manageable 3rd down and 5 for the Falcons.
Well, Mark, 33, Hamilton for Fauquier is running very hard, especially after the initial contact. He still keeps he's not a big runner, he keeps his feet moving, and Blue Devils are missed tackling.
All right, 3rd down and 5 from the 34. Clock running 20 seconds. Back to Hamilton they go. Hamilton fighting for yards. Going to be probably about a yard shy of a first down. We'll stop it and check the spot.
We have a flag on the field too, so we'll see what this might be another.
Had a few of those, huh?
Yep. Holding against the Falcons.
Well, are we going back to what you were saying about gifts?
Yep. There we go. Another one on 3rd down. You got to take them. You don't decline this because it's 5 yards. They'll try to go for it. Take the penalty.
So the holding there, they mark it off. Well, told you we're live this year, and our live sponsor, Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 715 or 718-7556. Want to talk about that? Again, we get a chance. Right now, the clock resumes and the final seconds are ticking off. Likely won't get a playoff before this quarter ends, and we won't. That's a signal that indicates the quarter is over. We've played one here at Falcon Field, where it's our score, Falcons 7, Blue Devils nothing. We'll take a break and come back for the second quarter right after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Son. More than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast. End of the start of the second quarter. One play into it. We have an incomplete pass by the Falcons on third down, Steve. And now on fourth and long, we'll see the Fauquier punting unit. We've said a couple times in that first quarter that, hey, the Falcons keep giving them gifts, unable to capitalize, but at least on this possession, the Blue Devils are going to force them to at least punt and not keep that football.
Well, you're right, Mark. And again, force the punt. Here, I would try, if I were the Blue Devils, Coach Steph, I'd like to put a little pressure on this punter, maybe a little bit here, and see if he can really get some field position. But they're just going to let him punt.
Line drive kick. This will be fielded. And then immediately tackled is the receiver. No chance that time. A.J. Marshall, no chance. But nevertheless, the Blue Devils will have good field position. 16 seconds into the second quarter. They trail 7-0. Those 6 points, that touchdown for the Falcons, came on a pick six. And then the point after. And it's been no offensive scores.
No offensive score. Mark, I was looking at that punt. It's a line drive. If our punt, Marshall made a fair catch, like the way that kid was running, he would have ran right into him, penalty, and we would have been up 15 yards. So again, you got to look around, situational awareness. And right now the Blue Devils see if they can, they stop the Falcons on it and see if they can get off the turnovers and put a good drive here together.
All right, they'll start from their own 44-yard line. Second quarter here. Bennett Sutherland. Play fake, throws it, threw it behind the intended receiver, Garrett Damewood. That would have been his second catch. He was open, but it was thrown behind him.
He was. The timing's right off a little bit there on Sutherland. He did throw behind him, but credit Damewood. He did get his hands on it, just couldn't make the play.
Second down and 10. Blue Devils from their own 44. Opening minute and a half of the second quarter. 7-0 our score in favor of the Falcons. We mentioned that both teams here tonight enter with an identical 0-2 record. Here's second and 10 for Bennett Sutherland and the Blue Devils. On the ground they go, and pretty good run into Falcon territory. Steve, it looks like number 22, and that's J.Q. Williams, number 22. He got a lot of reps that first game we broadcast, but Jakari Edwards was out of the game.
Right, and and Edwards like his running style too. He runs low to the ground. Again, and and you can make put Devin Polari in there as well.
High snap, they get it down. This is
16.
Culpeper's number 16. That's Devon Cooper, and nothing doing there. Falcon defense was certainly ready for him, and it brings up a 4th and 2.
And Culpeper was going to go for this, I believe. I don't know if I agree because you have a chance to put them deep in their own territory. But
you've always got that long snap count, hoping you'll draw them off, right?
That's true, too. You're right.
So they line up to go for it here on 4th and 2. From the Falcon 48, the Blue Devils need 2 yards to move the sticks. They go on the ground. Jakari Edwards gets to the outside and lowers his shoulder as he turns upfield, and he will get a Blue Devil first down. He got out across the 45 of Fauquier.
And he made a good move and made 2 Falcon defenders miss. And once he got that corner, got that edge, he was able to pick up the yardage, pick up the first down. That's what I keep preaching in the first quarter. Feed them.
Well, you know what? That seemed like a lot of running for a 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, it does, but it doesn't matter. The
Right.
thing, doesn't have to look pretty.
No, and it didn't look ugly. It just seemed like they only needed 2 and he got 5.
Yeah.
Moves the sticks. 1st and 10, Blue Devils from the Falcon 43. All right, this is Polari. Straight ahead he goes. There goes Polari. Breaks a tackle and he's into the end zone from 43 yards out.
Touchdown, Blue Devils. Polari from 43 yards out, running off the right tackle right into the end zone.
And Steve, you know that's got to be worthy of another look.
Let's take a look at this. Here it is right here now, Mark. Here's Polari. He gets the handoff. He's running it right through the right side. Good blocks there by the lineman. And then he got into that second level, took it to the house.
Well, you know we're always comparing people because we like the pro ranks. You know, it's just sort of fun to do. Before we get to that, R.J. Uribe on to try to tie this game up. His kick is up, and his kick is good. We're tied up, 7-all, 10-12. Falcon Field, second quarter.
Now,
Blue Devils.
Well, Devin Polari, the way he ran from that fullback position, can make you think of anyone?
Brian Piccolo.
Yeah, it could have been Brian Piccolo.
I'm really dating. Our reason is because it was the anniversary of Brian's song earlier.
Yeah,
in the week.
Brian's song. If you're not familiar with that, that's a story about Brian Piccolo, who played for the Chicago Bears and was teammates with Gale Sayers, the great, graceful Gale Sayers, I may add. And those guys became great friends. Piccolo, the fullback, Gale Sayers, the tailback, and Brian Piccolo battled cancer and succumbed to it.
At age 26.
Yeah. Played his college football at
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, yeah.
Where did Sayers play?
What's that?
Where did Gale Sayers
Well,
play?
he was the Kansas Comet.
Yep, you're
Yeah,
right.
University of Kansas.
But now, who are you thinking he reminded you? You're asking me, so who do you think?
Well, in recent years, how about somebody like Mike Allstott?
Yeah, a little bit, but, you know.
Not yet.
No,
You know who I saw on a highlight film today?
Who?
Larry Zonka. And I was watching him play, and he would use his forearm. I knew this, but to see it again, his forearms and elbows just to knock you down if you're thinking about tackling him.
He reminded me more of Jim Kick than that what Polari did.
Polari did? Okay. And we'll get back to Jim Kick as this ball is going to be returned from inside the 20-yard line. And just across the 30 before the Blue Devil special team stopping. That play was dead. This will not be a fumble. And anyway, so we're 10:05 in the second quarter. We're tied up 7-all. But the 7 points for the Blue Devils came off that offensive burst by Devin Polari. Beautiful thing to watch that unfold. 43 yards. The point after by Uribe. Now for the Falcons, they got the pick six early in the game by Eli Beinecker, and then the point after. They were up 7-0. So the Falcon offense, really, Steve, hasn't been able to get it in gear yet.
Right, you're right. And Mark, I was going to say John Riggins, too. You remind me of Riggins a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what the defense here can do and can frustrate Fauquier and see if we can get this ball back. 4th and 3 and out.
All right, from the 30-yard line. Reverse, double reverse. Got an open field, got speed. Being chased is David Mayfield. Spinning, still on his feet. Won't go down until he's down to about the 2-yard line. Steve, that was almost a 70-yard run. Turned out to be about 68.
68, Mark, on a razzle-dazzle. You know, in one hand, you know, about 3 handoffs there, and 4 showed his speed for Fauquier, blasting right off that left side. But again, a couple hand tackles. You got to be able to wrap them up. But at least they stopped the touchdown. See if the defense can stiffen right here, because Fauquier's got a 1st and goal.
First and goal from the 2-yard line. I don't know about you, but I'd be thinking Fauquier might be looking for Mason Hamilton straight ahead. But we'll see. Hamilton is in the game. He's got 2 other backs back there with him, so I guess you could call that a full house backfield, Steve. They do go to Hamilton. Hamilton breaks the tackle and is into the end zone from 2 yards out. Touchdown Falcons. Pay no attention to that noise in the background. So touchdown Falcons, 13-7, and Falcons back up on top.
They-
9:28 to play.
They answered it quick, Mark. And that was a quick answer. Just do a little end around, a little razzle-dazzle. Culpeper, I thought, stayed home. I thought they had it well defended, but they didn't anticipate number 4, Fauquier, his speed. And he just took it way down. You know, should have been brought in the end zone, but
Yeah,
we had a
68
game.
yards.
Yep, but
He obviously put his team in a position where it's going to be, unless you fumble, we're going to score.
Yep.
On for the point after now. There's Link, Kobe Link.
No good.
Wow.
Now, this might come back to haunt Fauquier.
So they did go for the PAT, no good. 13-7 Falcons, 9:28 to play second quarter. Action stopped because the teams will get ready for the kickoff. Well, I'll tell you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book fair trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. That's Battlefield Automotive, 540-547-3673. Steve, you were going to say that one of the highlights, or really top plays of the game, just happened a few moments ago when David Mayfield ran for 68 yards down to the Blue Devil 2.
Yeah, he did, Mark, and he just went right through on his little razzle-dazzle. You know, they end around, and he went right through, right around the left side. Culpeper tried a couple of arm tackles. He ran right through him and for 68 yards, and then A.J. Marshall forced him out of bounds at about the 2 or 3 yard line. Then they scored the next play. So they answered Culpeper's score. Now Culpeper's got to answer Fauquier's score. Now, we said this might not get into, we shouldn't expect a barn burner,
Yeah.
but, you know.
But didn't we say we expected a
Yeah,
closely contested game?
closely contested game, and see if now Culpeper can come back and answer.
Here's the kickoff by Link. This one is going to be fielded at the 15-yard line. This is J.Q. Williams. Steve? Yeah, J.Q. Williams, number 22. Yeah, J.Q. Williams. Well, the Blue Devils will have decent field position from their own 35-yard line, trailing 13-7.
I know the special teams, but they had a reverse setup if Culpeper wanted to run on that last play because Fauquier was all bunched up into the middle, and Culpeper had like a semi-wall. If they had reversed that, coming, that could have been a big gainer.
Probably see that on film
Yep.
later, Sunday or something, or they're watching the film. Sundays, Mondays, whatever it is. Bennett Sutherland, Garrett Damewood in motion. They fake the run. Now they try to swing it out to Garrett Damewood. The ball came loose, but he had his throwing arm going in motion, and that should be an incomplete pass, bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, that's a good thing Sutherland did. I think he first I thought he was holding it, like fake throwing it, and he, went a little bit too far, but his arm was going forward, and that's what you got to do. Just throw it in the ground. If the play in there, throw it in the ground. Make sure you buy a receiver. Don't throw it out in the ground with nobody around. That'd be intentional grounding. So, and then live another day. You got now 2nd and
We had the
2nd and
incomplete pass, and then it stopped the clock, too.
Yep.
And so now 2nd and 10 from the same spot, which is the 35-yard line. Bennett Sutherland hands it off. Jakari Edwards trying to go off tackle, can't. Making a good defensive play for the Falcons there was number 56, and that's Xavier Crute. Understand he likes to go by X Crute.
X-Crute.
Sounds like a professional wrestler's name.
But right now, Culpeper's got a 3rd and long play here, 3rd and 10. And Mark, they got to do a pass. Right now, they were dominating line of scrimmage in the first quarter, but it looks like right now Fauquier's trying to get the best of them on that line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10 now from the 35. Bennett Sutherland, a running back on each flank. They fake it to Edwards, and they throw it. This one is picked off. 2nd pick of the game for the Falcons. And this is number 15 for Fauquier. That is Jalen Newman. No, I'm sorry, Joey Renzi. Joey Renzi, number 15.
And Mark, Plaster's looking at the sideline, throwing his hands open like, what happened there? What happened is he's got to help his quarterback. He's got to get inside leverage. He let Fauquier's player get inside leverage on him, boom, on that slant, every time it's going to be an interception, every time. He has got to get his body, his shoulder over and make sure he knows that defender's on his back and get leverage. He didn't get leverage there. It was too easy of an interception. That was not Bennett Sutherland's fault.
I understand. And the Falcons take over. Right now that means Mason Hamilton stiff arms one defender, and he just sort of runs out of room to run as he's near the sidelines for a short pickup on the play. Actually, it looks like he's going to lose some yardage. Yeah.
And see, right now I'm watching Culpeper just walking back on defense huddle. Someone needs to be taking charge out there where the captains are and they say, look, guys, we're still in this game by, we're down 13-7. So, but we can't continue making mistakes and giving Fauquier good real estate and try to score. Can't do it.
Right. All right. Second down. 13 from the 46. Falcons on offense. Hamilton again, straight ahead. Good tackle that time by the Blue Devils. A couple guys in there. Number 53, Larry Williams, Steve.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was there. And again, that was a good play by Larry Williams. They recognized it and closed down quick.
Brings up 3rd and 10 now for the Falcons from the Blue Devil 43-yard line. 13-7 our score. 7:25 clock, ticking second quarter. We are at Falcon Field. And the Falcons are moving obviously from left to right with those red jerseys, gray helmets, darker gray pants on 3rd and 10. Ben Nolan, the quarterback. He's got time, he throws. Got a receiver opened out there. This will be a first down. He was wide open, Steve, and the Falcons made that look easy as they complete the pass to Jaden Stringfellow.
Well, Mark, he just said Culpeper was playing a two-team zone, and he just found a soft spot right in there, and good and way to for the Fauquier quarterback, he found the receiver and right in the soft spot of the zone. He was wide open, and that was a very easy throw to make.
So now the Falcons have it at the Blue Devils 25-yard line, where it is 1st and 10. 6:50 clock ticking second quarter. 13-7 Fauquier. Hamilton, the ball carrier, makes a couple of cuts, uses a stiff arm. They hold on to his jersey, and they tackle him inside the Blue Devil 20. Cole Plaster and a few others there to combine for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, that's coming back, though, Mark. It's going to be a holding call on the Falcons. So a break for the Blue Devils right there.
All right, well, and we'll tell you then our broadcast is brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. That's Found & Sons, 825-3530. All right, after they mark it off, line of scrimmage, the 35. So it cost the Falcons 10.
Now the Blue Devils got him to capitalize here.
All right, here's Nolan. Short pass. Hamilton looking for a block. Won't get one. Inside the 35-yard line, well, the line of scrimmage was 35. He's going to be held to a 2-yard pickup.
And Mark, that's good defense right there. They Blue Devils recognized it was going to be a screen, and they defended. They just boxed him in on that receiver. And 33 Hamilton had really nowhere to go.
Lost 2 yards. 2nd and 17. Falcons have it at the Blue Devil 33. Ben Nolan, the quarterback. Hamilton behind him. And on the, is that a bubble sweep we call it, Steve? You go to that receiver coming around, and that was Christian Friedel. But nothing doing there either. So you're talking about the Blue Devil defense, Steve. It looks like they're sort of stiffened up here.
They're stiffening up. They're playing their lanes. But then with Fauquier is, why are you handing him the ball to run the bubble screen when number 4 is a speedster? And, a good play by the Blue Devils right there. They stayed in their lanes, and they're able to get the pressure and blow that thing up pretty good.
So the Blue Devil defense has an opportunity here on 3rd and 20. Nolan, the quarterback, he's got time. Down the middle of the field, incomplete. Cole Plaster defending against, it looks like the intended receiver was Chase Leeser.
Once again, get your
Yep, you're right. And the thing is, that quarterback threw it. He has a good arm.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, again, the Culpeper has, you know, recognized that as good defense right there. They didn't bite on the play action. The only thing I think they didn't do well is they're not getting good defensive pass rush penetration on the quarterback. He had all day long to throw that ball.
Christian Friedel will punt this away for the Falcons. He's going to stand near midfield. It's like A.J. Marshall back for the Blue Devils, and they kick away from him. But that's a mistake because it goes out of bounds. Although, actually, when you look at where it goes out of bounds, Steve, not a bad kick at all.
Yeah, but he wished he had that one back. It was off his left foot.
But look where they mark it. It's inside the 20, so you've got them pinned back. Anytime you get worse field position than the 20, anything worse than the 20, you've done something.
Yeah,
Done your job as a punter. Let's check. Yeah, 16-yard line.
Well, now the Blue Devils, you got 4. I think it's imperative they come down, score, and answer. If this thing goes in, Culpeper can either go in tied or up a point at halftime. But they cannot make mistakes right here. You know, especially on slant patterns and all that. They just got to play a little bit more aggressive and get more leverage on them.
All right, Blue Devils will start from their own 16. Dane Wood in motion. Sutherland, hands off. Jakari Edwards looking for a little running room, doesn't find any.
Now, Jakari did better when he ran straight north and south. Now he's kind of like trying to dance in the hole a little bit.
Right.
He's got to stop that and learn to just kind of run hard when the hole's there and presents himself. He's got to shoot himself through it.
Got only about a half a yard. I'll give him a yard call at 2nd and 9.
Right.
And we got a whistle and stop the play.
It's going to be a timeout.
Timeout taken on the field. Well,
Blue Devil.
that's
No, Fauquier called it.
That's a chance to single out our timeout sponsor this year. That's UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. Visit them at their website at uvacreditunion.org. Well, 4:22 to play here in the second quarter, Steve. We've talked about it tonight. It's been a game of a lot of gifts bestowed but not well received, and then offenses that haven't really had it in high gear, and a lot of mistakes. What am I leaving out?
Nothing. I like for Culpeper to see if they can sustain a drive. I mean, they have it, 1st and 10. They got 4:22 to go here in the first half. They're down by a score of 13-7, and right now I still think with all the gifts that Fauquier gave them in the first quarter, we should be up 21-7 easily. But there's nothing doing there. That's water over the bridge, as they say.
Sure is. After the timeout, Blue Devils have it 2nd and 9 from their 17. Sutherland on the option. Got it back there to the running back, Jakari Edwards, and that was a nicely designed play, Steve, because they're pretty close to first down yardage.
It was good there. I thought the pitch wasn't that great. Bennett's got to work on that. You don't see the option too much here in Culpeper. I mean, in the football anymore, in high school football. But again, is there a flag?
I think it might be. I thought I saw maybe a bad block call. Maybe not. No.
Ineligible.
Oh, ineligible?
Well, he wasn't throwing. He was pitching. So. I don't know what the call was.
I thought the side official there was going like this. Like that was.
But that would have been a personal foul. I think maybe it was a legal substitution could be.
All the way back to, what, the 20-yard line? Yeah. Sutherland. Oh, he had a receiver there in Devin Polari, in and out of his hand.
Marco's creeping up over behind the Blue Devil bench, behind the trees. Look ahead. Look behind the Blue Devil. Look behind the spectators in the sky. The moon.
Oh, the moon.
Big moon.
Yeah, it's is it rising? It's coming up along that tree line.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be easier to see it than in a while. On the punt, R.J. Uribe. Back deep. Chase Leeser. Whistle and stoppage. You know what that means.
Timeout. Timeout Blue Devils. They're trying to maybe force Fauquier to jump.
So instead of taking the penalty, you had to call the timeout.
Call timeout, or they took delay a game. Let's see what the call is. Delay a game, yep. That's got to drive Coach Ford nuts.
Well, because now the punter, Rebag, is going to stand just inside the 5-yard line.
And Fauquier's going to get the ball in good field position.
You're looking for a good snap. It's there. Here's the kick. Going to be short. This one's just dangerously close to hitting players. It doesn't. But you have a penalty flag down there back where that ball bounced.
Yeah, we'll see what the call. It could be an unnecessary roughness. Culpeper's, they're saying it's fumble.
Well, the Blue Devils picked up the ball and ran it back. That would have been Larry Williams.
But they got, there's a flag on the play. And I don't know what that was. That means the ball was whistled dead, I thought.
Well, but while they sort it out, we'll tell you this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons. More than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. All right, 4:02 to play.
Looks like it's going to personal foul, unnecessary roughness against Culpeper. No, Fauquier.
They're pointing at the red.
Yep. And from the spot, it goes back 15 yards.
You look at Coach Ford over there, Steve.
Yep.
He's directing things.
Yep, exactly. But
Sorting it out.
Well, that's where the flag was thrown, but now the ball mark, the sticks are back there, and Culpeper's saying that ball was dropped. It didn't, wasn't a catch. I'll see that it hit somebody. It was a punt. They thought it hit somebody. Fauquier pushed the guy down. Referee threw the flag. Then I thought everyone was dead ball, but then Culpeper picks up the ball and runs it in, thinking that it was a live football. They touched somebody. Here's what the officials say. All right, it's going against Fauquier. Now, does Culpeper get the ball back? Personal foul, Fauquier. Yeah, they go back on. Yeah, they go back on defense. Is what I thought.
Personal foul on the Falcons.
No, it's against Culpeper. Then what had happened, Mark? It must have touched a Fauquier player on the punt. Culpeper recovered. Then there was a personal foul on the play. Now Culpeper retains possession.
Yep.
I just want to clarify that for our viewing audience. That was a punt. The ball hit a Fauquier player. Culpeper picked it up. There was a personal foul against Fauquier, and that I think was blown dead by the whistle. Now the officials are still trying to figure this out. They're trying to figure out where was the ball touched by the Culpeper player. I mean the Fauquier player, and what happened afterwards.
Still sorting it out. All right.
Yep.
Well, and we get the spot in. This broadcast brought to you in part by CFC, Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center.
Mark, just like the moon, a bad moon rising.
Yeah, dark moon rising. There's a bad moon on the rise. Yeah.
Good old Johnny.
Yeah, all right, John. You're looking at it. Well,
we're still having the officials having a conference here. They're trying to figure out what happened. It was a punt by Culpeper. Then it was fielded by. It was not. It was. There was whistled. Fauquier just let it bounce, and Culpeper was saying it hit a Culpeper man. And then the officials blew the ball dead at that point, but there was an unnecessary roughness penalty against Fauquier. Now we have the ball here. first and 10 on Fauquier's, looks like 38-yard line. Now they're backing up again. We're still waiting here to see what because, why wouldn't it be a touchdown? Culpeper ran it all the way down into the end zone. But can they advance it?
That's the question, is can you advance it?
Yeah.
Because it didn't look like it hit a Falcon player, but there was a lot of traffic out there. So it may have, it only has to glance it, right?
Yeah.
So then the Blue Devils returned it, but then you had they were down, by contact?
Yeah, and they're already, they're saying now Culpeper's offense is coming off the field. And, so it didn't really touch a Fauquier player, or they're saying, hey, it was blown dead on the personal foul. Now Coach Ford is sitting there, he's upset.
Well, just from this vantage point watching it, I thought when the play developed, it was just, I didn't see it hit anyone.
I didn't either. And that's why, but Culpeper picked the ball up and ran, and the officials, at first they thought it hit a Culpeper player, a Fauquier player.
Mm-hmm. But the officials must have ruled it didn't.
No.
Because it's still 13-7, and the Falcons have it at the 37.
Because the ball was dead on the field.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the official threw the personal foul. So that should have ended it right there. Dead ball gets Fauquier. Then Fauquier retains possession. What Culpeper's contending is that that punt was in a crowd and that it nicked a Fauquier player. And Culpeper recovered it, and they should have the ball there with the field of ball, plus get the advantage of the personal foul. But it looks like they're not going to win that argument. Defense is coming on the field.
Yeah, he did make his appeal to the referee.
Yep.
And that was denied. So Falcons offense from the 37, up 13-7, 4:02 to play, second quarter. Movement, but not encroachment. Handoff this time, different running back. Here's a nice cut. And so it looks like he's going to have to try to outrace one defender. He breaks a tackle into the end zone. It's number 29, Aaron Lewis, 63 yards. And a touchdown for the Falcons. Comes with 3:49 to play here in the second.
Mark, that was too easy right there. They just ran right over on the right side. They got good blocking. And Culpeper's linebackers weren't there to hit it, make it the initial point of contact. He got the second level and outraced everybody to the end zone. You got to give Fauquier credit. They got some fast running backs. They get in that open field, they can go.
Well, they really only had one guy who had a legitimate shot at him, and Lewis just sort of brushed him off and said, not today.
Not today, you're right.
63-yard touchdown run by Fauquier's Aaron Lewis makes it 19-7. Falcons with 3:49 to play here in the second, and we have a timeout taken before this point after touchdown is taken by the Falcons.
Mark, I think they're go ahead.
Well, I was going to say our timeout sponsor this year is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. Visit the UVA Community Credit Union. We have their website at uvacreditunion.org. Steve Peacock, Mark O'Connell, Johnny Krawchuk with you tonight. Nicole Wooten back in the studio. As again, of course, we'd like to say we're live because we are.
Yep, and I think now they're discussing it. Fauquier took a timeout here, whether to go for two, which I agree with. They'll put them up 21-7 instead of 20-7 with a kick. So I think they're going to try to go for two here.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, in all fairness, is it understandable that there was so much time that had to elapse before we had an official decision out there?
Yeah, I mean,
seems like a long time.
Yeah, I mean the officials kind of blew the call because Culpeper was still contending to touch the Fauquier player, but now look what happened right after that play. Culpeper didn't make any good effort on stop that run, and they took it all the way to the house.
All right, on the two-point try, Ben Nolan. Here comes pressure. He may not see it. Not going to see it as he throws. He's hit. This one picked off on Blue Devils, and that will stop that two-point try conversion. And let's see who picked it off. I can see him.
14, Plaster.
Well, that's Cole Plaster there. All right, Could that loom as a factor down the road?
Yeah,
We don't know until we get there, right?
it's true, but I think it will. I mean, I think it's going to come into play. They wanted to go up that 3-touchdown score.
So the 2-point try fails. 19-7's our score with 3:49 to play here in the second quarter. Both teams, the Falcons and Blue Devils, looking for their first win of the season. They enter tonight both at 0-2. So how did the Falcons get here winless? They lost to Independence, a 5A school up in Ashburn, Steve, Loudoun County. A couple of high schools in Loudoun County.
A few of them.
And then last week, they lost pretty big to Brentsville District. And, of course, I'm not sure how good the Tigers are this year, but I know they've been good in recent years.
Yeah, they have. And they were in a good team last year, and they were young. And so they got most of their team back. So, but Brentsville, and, you know, they're going to be one of the favorites to win the Northwestern District, you know, and they're a 3A school. But I don't know how good. I think Hanley's good. You know, Sharonda's always got a good program. So, but, you know, Culpeper's in the tough battlefield district, right? And they got to get wins when they can and be ready to play. And right now, I'm just wondering where their head's at because they're down 19-7. And it's all not Fauquier doing anything better than they are. It's just a lot of Culpeper mistakes.
On the return is going to be J.Q. Williams, looking to bounce out of there like a pinball, and he got across the 30, just shy of the 35-yard line, is where they will mark him down. So moments ago, Aaron Lewis of Fauquier, 63-yard electrifying run. As we mentioned, only one guy had a chance at him, brushed him off into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion attempt failed, and it's 19-7 in favor of the Falcons. So if you're late tuning in, how did the Blue Devils get their touchdown? That run by the fullback, Devin Polari.
And they need to go back more of that power football. That was working for them because they got a big offensive line. It's bigger than Fauquier's defensive line, but right now, Culpeper thinks, you know, they're not even out of this game, down 19-7. They've still got a whole nother second half to play.
They have it at the 34-yard line to the Blue Devils. 3:41 to play here in the second. Certainly they'd like to put together something here as they go on the ground with Polari. He got pretty good yardage here. Got across the 40 and out to the 42. Picked up 8 yards, brings up 2nd and 2.
And he just needs to get better, you know, keep doing it because that's what's working for the Blue Devils.
The straight ahead runs with Polari, Jakari Edwards. Not as much success when they try to get the edge and go outside.
Right. Power football, get those guys, you know, use your big men up front.
From the 42, 2nd and 2. That's Plaster in motion. Handing off. And this is back to Polari, fighting for extra yards as he approaches midfield. And that'll be a Blue Devil first down. Well, Steve, you've been sort of saying it. Hey, your running game looks pretty good straight ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Polari, he's a hard runner, Mark, and he runs real hard, and he's doing a good job there running that football.
But, you know, between Polari and then, of course, Jakari Edwards straight ahead or off tackle, they've been getting some positive yards. It's just trying to get to the outside and get that edge where they haven't had success.
Exactly.
Now they have it Fauquier side of midfield at the Falcon 49. It's 1st and 10 Blue Devils from that spot. 3 receivers to the right. They stay on the ground. Jakari Edwards bursts through there, and looks like he's very close to another Blue Devil first down, and he will have it. Looks like we've got maybe a little extra, maybe a skirmish developing.
Yeah, and you know, Culpeper, just get out of that.
Yeah.
No, you know, you don't want to. You made a good run. You got first down or 2nd and short, and you don't want to be, you know, throwing a penalty because of something dumb.
Well, Steve, I think people should just say in effect, individually, hey, not participating.
Yeah.
If they want to do that, no,
Yeah.
not participating.
Just
Don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait. You got it.
From the 40-yard line, it's first down and about 1. Why is that? No, it's not. It's 2nd and 1. Now it's going to be 1st and 10.
And you know, see, Mark, that's what. Even though they got to look at the clock now, it's got to come down a little bit here now to clock management. 1:41 here to go in the ball game, and they got to now. This clock stops just for the chains to move. Culpeper's got to be ready to play.
J.Q. Williams on the ball carrier. The ball carrier the last play. Now Sutherland on the option. Fakes it, keeps it, turns upfield, makes a nice cut out there. He's dragged down after he gets a first down inside the Falcon 25.
And that was, even though it was an option play, it's kind of slow developing, but you got to give kudos to Sutherland where he faked the pitch. The Fauquier man bit on it, and then that just opened up the hole for him to pick up first down yardage on the run.
Bennett Sutherland did a good job with that. Might remind you of a Greg Landry or a Bobby Douglas back in the 70s, those running quarterbacks. They weren't really fast. They were good at running the ball once they got in the open field.
Well, now you're looking at, you get up here now, you look at Russell Wilson and
different type,
fast,
dangerous on
Murray
the run.
from Kyler Murray from Arizona, and that's what they're running type quarterbacks.
But when Greg Landry and I mentioned Bobby Douglas, Chicago, those guys, they were just looking to run when they ran.
Yep, you're right.
They'd be part of that running back thing, expected to get yards. All right, play action. Sutherland pressured, trying to get out of there, and he doesn't. They eventually drag him down back at the 32-yard line. Looks like it's going to be a loss of 7 yards on the play.
Yeah, again, blocking up front on that, Mark. It was, I don't know if that was a delay handoff or what Sutherland was going to do, but now it's 52 seconds here to go, and they had to take a timeout.
Well, let's take a look at the situation, Steve. Let's survey it.
All right.
You look at the clock. You look at the score. You look at the down marker and how far they've got to go. And you're going, okay, with the time you've got and the offense you have, what are you going to draw up here in the next couple plays, for example?
Well, you got to, if you're going to throw the ball, if you're going to throw slant passes, I'd be telling my receivers, get the leverage and don't let them cut in front of you. Second, I would go play action and send one of like Polari or Shakari Edwards can catch it, line him up in the H-back or tight end position and just do a post and see what happens. You got to take a shot, right here before half. Now, running game is good, but you got also got to look at you don't have the time.
So your running game might give you 4 or 5 yards, but then the clock continues to run, and ultimately you got to throw it.
And you're running out of timeouts as well. So.
But you're right, Steve. Ultimately, you have to throw it in this possession sequence.
Do. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Well, let's see what they draw up. Now I'm seeing a Blue Devil player, David Holland. Haven't called his name tonight. He is a receiver. He's at the bottom of your screen there, number 10, the wide out.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
So they're going to send 3 receivers over here, and then 1 top of your screen. That's a receiving core for Bennett Sutherland.
Looks like Fauquier's going to bring a blitz. Watch Panagas on that right side.
They go to the run. This is Polari.
Go down. You got to go down.
Yeah, they do go. They do bring him down, but I think forward progress to be about the 28-yard line, which means he picked up only 4 yards. But like you're talking, Steve, got to go down because of that clock.
Yep.
And the clock runs at 32 seconds to play.
And it's 3rd down. You got to make something positive out of this.
Here's the throw you wanted. Sutherland being pressured, and he's sacked for a loss. Is it Panagas?
Yep.
Grady Panagas, number 24, the big sack for the Falcons. And that sort of play right there may deny the Blue Devils in their quest to score some points before the second quarter expires.
Because now it brings on, 3rd down and 18? And so they call timeout. But you got still 2 downs here, 20 seconds to go. And you just don't, that's when you tell your quarterback, you just don't take a sack. Throw it away.
Do you think that in Sutherland's, maybe his situation there, that the pressure came so quick he just couldn't get away from it?
I think so. You're right.
Well, Steve, they're talking about it out there. Does tomorrow kick off the college football season? Already has.
It's already started.
Okay.
This will be, last weekend was the kickoff. This will be their second games they're playing. They got some good games.
Well, let's talk about in-state. Let's look at both the major schools in Virginia, Division I, Virginia Tech. How do they shape up this weekend?
Well, Virginia's got to go out to Illinois and play the University of Illinois Big Ten team, which they like play smash mouth football. And Virginia beat them pretty good at home last year, so this is the return of a home and away series. So Virginia, they're not favored. They're down by 4.5 points, and so it's going to be
Let's return to that. This is interesting about UVA's game with Illinois, and we haven't mentioned Virginia Tech yet, but this is 3rd down and 22 for Bennett Sutherland. Previous play, Grady Panagas had that big sack for Fauquier. Sutherland hoping for some protection, throws it out to the far side, and let's check the receiver, Steve. The 24, A.J. Marshall, and importantly, he went out of bounds.
He went out of bounds, but he's still short, though, Mark. This is the 4th down.
Is it 4th or 3rd? I think it's 3rd, isn't it?
No, it's 4th.
Is it 4th?
4th.
Well, I lost one. 4th and what, 15, 16 now?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is for the Blue Devils, and obviously it comes down to this play.
Yep.
If you're going to score before this first half expires.
Exactly.
How they do it? They're going to bunch up 3 receivers to the left here. Send 1 man to the right. Bennett Sutherland's going to sling it out there. This one almost picked off. And well defended for the Falcons there was David Mayfield. Did we mention his name earlier on the offensive side of the ball?
We did.
Yeah.
And Mark, the thing is, why are you throwing? I know you want to throw it to your wide receiver running down on the sideline, but you're really not giving your receiver too much real estate to operate because the corner is going to shade you to the out-of-bounds marker. So as a quarterback, you kind of want to lead him. You can throw it that way, but lead him more inside the field and make it over like he can do over the back shoulder like that, instead of just trying to heave it up in the air and then make the receiver really run out of real estate.
Fauquier back on offense, but this will be probably academic. With 7 seconds remaining, they'll likely take a knee and let this clock expire and let both teams go to their respective locker rooms for the intermission. Ben Noland under center will take a knee, and they'll let that clock wind down. The final seconds are ticking off here at Falcon Field in this first half, and it's official now in the books. We've played a half at Falcon Field where it's Fauquier 19, Culpeper 7. We'll take a break for the halftime. Hope you'll enjoy it, and you're looking at the moon, and that's a pretty sight, isn't it? All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, before we start the 3rd quarter, we're going to wrap up how this first half went and introduce a special guest. So stay tuned. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast. It's halftime here at Falcon Field at Fauquier High in Warrenton, Virginia. Beautiful night for football. Intermission score, Falcons 19, Blue Devils 7. And welcome back to our broadcast. We have a couple minutes to chat about the first half and to meet a special guest as well. All right, I'm Mark O'Connell alongside Steve Peacock. Steve, why don't we do your assessment after we introduce our special guest? Well, I promised you one, and now we're going to deliver. Our special guest tonight is Chris Frazier. Welcome aboard. Chris is the, as a lot of people in the Culpeper community know, is a lacrosse coach, head coach, boys varsity at Eastern View High School. And you're here tonight shadowing and being a part of the broadcast because there's a good chance you're going to be a part of it someday soon. That's going to be great. Welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me. It's great out here. You guys are doing a great job, and I'm just excited to be here.
Well, we've had some really nice weather for the game, and you've heard a lot of things. You've watched the action. You've seen both teams. What are your thoughts about the first half? Let's start with the Fauquier Falcons. They're up 19-7. How do you think they got there?
I think Fauquier is really using the big plays. I mean, they had the big run down there for that big touchdown run that set up. Short run by 33, and then the big kick or big interception return to start it off. It's been the big kind of emotion draining plays that have really set them up.
Very well said. And Steve, come back in the broadcast because you talked about a couple of times in that first half how Fauquier was trying to be generous.
Yeah, they
and the
were.
Blue Devils just sort of.
They didn't take advantage of their generosity, especially with the penalties and mistakes they're making. And it's not like that Fauquier's overpowering them. They got some quick backs, but it could be I think that if halftime the Blue Devils can scheme better, especially on defense, and move some players around a little bit, so they don't get these one-on-ones with the Fauquier halfbacks that can just blow by that one tackle. They're already in the second level and gone.
Yeah, and so the Blue Devils don't have but 7 points to show for their efforts in that first half, Chris. And we've talked about the gifts that they refused, and not only that, and the penalties and that sort of thing, but Fauquier, they had a big play on defense by Grady Panagas on that sack that really stopped the Blue Devils when they had that late drive down here. So it seems like they get the advantage of good field position, but then they work in reverse, go backwards, and come back with nothing.
Yeah, they've had a few penalties on second and third down, and the sacks. Panagas made a good play getting to their quarterback there on that long drive, and it just seems like they're not getting A.J. Marshall into space. He has 1 catch on a couple targets. Same thing with Cole Plaster.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I just agree with what Chris just said, too. And the other thing is, I'd be giving it more to Polari. He's running the ball very hard. You have him, use him to set up the pass and maybe flare out Jakari Edwards on like a little rollout or screen or something like that. You got to do something to mix this up to keep Fauquier honest because they're blitzing almost Panagas on every play. And what's happening, that's forcing Sutherland to hurry up and not find the timing with his wide receivers.
Very well said. Well, Polari, Steve mentioned Devin Polari. He has the Blue Devils' only touchdown tonight. But, I'm sure you observed, and you heard Steve and I talking about it, the Blue Devils had relatively good success on the ground with Polari and Edwards as long as they were going off tackle or inside. Just didn't have the luck on the outside or the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. Polari's been running really hard for him. Like you said, had that big, long touchdown run. They can get into the second and third and manageables with that, with good runs by Polari on first and second down. Then they can kind of open it up and get the passing game going a little bit.
And I think that Bennett Sutherland is going to ultimately excel when he can really operate in his niche, which is drop back, throw the ball, be protected, and find your receiver. He's got a good arm, he's accurate, but I don't think he's at his best when he's trying to lead either an option attack or he's trying to scramble for yards because the pressure is too great.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had pressure off the edge a couple times, and I mean that's the couple errant throws to the sideline, and the one interception was he's getting rushed in the pocket.
And Mark, I've always preached, and you've heard me preach this for 25 years. It's the little things. If you do the little things, the big things will come. And Culpeper right now isn't doing the little things. They need to go back to fundamental football, instead of arm tackling, put a hat on somebody, and on that line of scrimmage, use their big boys and control their line of scrimmage like they were doing in the first quarter. And you can even run the ball down 19-7, so you're not that big of a hole.
Well, Jalen Newman will be kicking off for the Falcons rather than Kobe Link. Don't know why. It's a move the Falcons are obviously making. And you wouldn't expect an onside kick here, would you?
No, and see the Blue Devils won the toss, so they get the ball here, and I think this is important. They got to score here. They got to put points on the board.
Here is Newman's kick. It's a short one, end over end, taken at the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
On the nice return. is number 16, Steve. That's, tell me again, that's Devon?
Yep.
Yeah, Devon Cooper.
And see, the thing is, Culpeper, I mean, the Faukier's not big, but they got good quick backs. I saw that play developing. It just opened up. I thought Cooper's going to have a long raid down for a touchdown. But again, if you don't block those backside players that Fauquier has, those little guys, he made the tackle.
All right, opening minute here of this third quarter. Blue Devils start this second half on offense, and they trail 19-7. Reasonably good field position for them, however, as they begin at their own 38. You mentioned Grady Panagas. Steve, watch him there. He's seems to always be near that football.
Yeah, they line him. He's not a big kid, and and he's got Culpeper roots. I mean, his dad is Tim Panagas. Lived in Culpeper. Was good involved in wrestling for a long period of time. But what Panagas is doing, they just have him being like kind of a spy. If he sees that tackle's blocking down, he knows it's going to be a run. So then he tries to disrupt. If he knows he's pass blocking, he just makes an unchecked run to the quarterback. See right now, look at there. They've got to put a hat on him.
Polari got 3 yards on first down. 2nd and 7. High snap. Sutherland gets it down. He throws and incomplete. This was intended for Culpeper's number 8, Griffin Tanner.
He's a big kid. And, again, he's getting it, Bennett, he just hasn't been himself today. I don't know. He's throwing the ball high. He's not getting any leverage on his foot. He's dancing around the pocket, too. So
here it is, a 3rd down and 9. Bennett Sutherland sends 3 receivers to the right. Got 1 to the left. Polari in the backfield. Here comes Panagas. They are able to set up the screen to Polari. Jukes a tackler. Fauquier territory. This one's going to reap good benefits for the Blue Devils, Steve. That was a nice play call, and Polari executed it well.
He did, and so did Bennett Sutherland. They just let Panagas come on in like that, and then they just threw it over his head, and Polari did the rest. And good play call, good call by the Blue Devil coaches. Now, you get some momentum back, take this thing and take it down and score.
Polari, 28 yards on the run. Blue Devil first down at the Falcon 31. Opening couple of minutes here of this third quarter, 19-7 Falcons. The Blue Devils have some life here off that big run by Polari. We'll have it at the 31 of Fauquier. Jakari Edwards gets the call. Sidestepped 1 defender. Ends up getting inside the 25 to the 24. So Edwards, Steve, on first down, picks up 7 yards. And that's the sort of thing you were talking about earlier. When you go with Polari and Jakari Edwards straight ahead, you got to get those 3 or 4 yards.
Exactly. It's a powerhouse backfield. And the best way to defend Panagas is run at him. Run right at him. That may you got to force him to make a play, get a hat on him. Because that was good, though. They bait him on that screen. See if they go back to it.
2nd down and 4. Back to the run. And this is Edwards. He got away from Panagas, but then he was tackled near the line of scrimmage.
And again, Mark, he's coming in unchecked. I mean, he was almost there where the handoff is there. He saw it. He's smart. And I'm not trying to build up a Fauquier player's cred here, but what I'm saying, how he's playing this game, he is doing a good job. Culpeper's got to figure out, put a hat on him, run at him.
Well, there he is, that outside linebacker, number 24. Grady Panagas, he's having a good game for the Falcons. His teammates, however, in a position here where they got to stiffen up where the Blue Devils could convert something. As Bennett Sutherland on the option keeps it shy of the 20-yard line. But he'll be very close to a first down. He may even have it, Steve.
I think he has it, Mark, and it's got good second effort. There's where you go and how you defense a guy like Panagas right there. Have him make a decision. He's got to either cover the pitch man or the quarterback, and Sutherland took it right up in that gap and was able to pick up the first down.
Steve, I got to tell you, I know it sounds sentimental, but it does my heart good, and probably yours too, whenever you can call a kid's surname so many times because he's playing so well, and there's someone whose family you know, it makes you feel good about it.
Sure does.
All right, here it is, 1st and 10. Go back to Edwards. Tried to get it to the outside, really couldn't do it. If you go back, I sound like a broken record, Steve, but their best bets are straight ahead and keeping it between the tackles.
I wholeheartedly agree, Mark. Jakari Edwards is good when he gets ahead of steam, but he's not going to be a backer, running back that's going to get that edge quick. He's got to get going. So what do you want to do that? Make him power run between the tackles.
Well, it makes me wonder if Devin Polari might get the call here on 2nd down and 11. Drive chewing up some of the time, down to 8:35 and counting. Third quarter action. We're going to have a whistle and a flag for a delay of game.
And again, where, see the clock is over, the game clock is over here, and, but it should be going up here. They should be able to, quarterback's got to look at that game clock.
All right, well, this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing, outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center.
Now, the game clock, are they on or are they turned off? Yeah, they should be on, showing them how, well, it's a dead ball.
And they have it marked at the 27, and it is 3rd and 16. And now it looks like Bennett Southern may want a timeout.
Yep.
And he'll get it.
Timeout, Culpeper.
Yeah, we mentioned that our timeout sponsor this year, Steve,
Is?
UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. UVAcreditunion.org. All right, and I wanted to mention, Able Heating and Air is our sponsor is our live sponsor. Had a chance, Steve, to meet a couple of their employees this week.
Good.
Came out to my house, young fellows, by the name of Riley Woodward, Mike Lytle. A pleasure working with them and talking to them. I talked to them so much, I may have started to wonder, are we going to get our job done here today? But they're really great. Riley Woodward, originally from Madison County, and Mike Lytle over in Orange County. It's fun to meet them, and it just continues with Able Heating and Air. I keep meeting good people.
Good job. They're good.
And so, after this Blue Devil timeout, let's see how they're situated.
Yeah, like I said, this is a big. Is it second down? They got still 2nd and 16. I agree with you. I thought it was 3rd down, but
Yeah, what, from the 27?
Yeah.
Picking up the spot. 2nd and 16. Blue Devils have the benefit of the timeout to think about it. Will they set up the screen? They will. Oh! And that was an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
Devin Polari, unable to corral it. Steve, had he corralled it, was there some space there for him?
yes, I mean, he had some linemen out there. He had the blocks. He would at least got maybe half back that yardage after the penalty. But again, drop. It's the same old trying to run without catching it. He had to catch it first, then run. He caught himself peeking. He was peeking to see where that player was, where the defensive player was, and he didn't concentrate on the ball.
All right, and the drop means 3rd and 16 now. Blue Devils have it at the Falcon 27. Bennett Sutherland going to feel a little bit of pressure. Then he's going to throw, get rid of it. It'll be incomplete. Well, Stevie told him not to take the sack, and he did throw it and get away from it, so he didn't do that.
Yeah, he was good. He had to. I mean, he couldn't take the sack back that far. Now what do? You still got to go for it here on 4th down if you're Culpeper.
That's right, because a punt really doesn't help you much here.
No, it doesn't. It's just going to be, giving them ball back at the 20.
So on 4th and 16 from the 27. If R.J. Uribe came out, it would be a 44-yard field goal attempt, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but that's way beyond his range.
All right, so if you got to go for it here on 4th down, and you got to get 16 yards, it'll be interesting to see what play they draw up. Will it include Polari? Well, not yet, because Sutherland dropped it. He got a good bounce, picked it up. He's going to keep it. He got away from Panagas, and he's upended near the 15-yard line. That was the tackle made by Fauquier's number 4 there, Steve. No, that's David Mayfield. Oh, my gosh. Mayfield had that big play
run, yeah.
in the first half.
But again, right here,
Stopped him.
I mean, you know, they stopped him on downs. Fauquier did, but that was a good improvisation of the play with Sutherland. He'll pick up that drop ball and turn it in, nothing into something.
Yeah, so we don't know how the play would have.
He improv'd very good.
Yeah, well, don't know how the play would have unfolded without that the drop, because obviously that wasn't by design. He still was able to get good yardage from it, as Mason Hamilton runs into the stiff tackle there of Jakari Edwards. But I was going to say, despite the drop and the fumble and the pickup, we're still able to turn it into positive, just a little bit short.
Right.
And who knows?
And see the play clock. I mean, the play clock's operating, but the game clock, you know, between on the field is not operating. So they can't look and see how many. You know, got 25 seconds to snap the ball.
Ben Nolan, the quarterback, handing off. This is Hamilton, 20. Lowers his shoulder, gets down to about the 25. That's going to be a pickup of about 7 yards. Bring up third down.
And see, this is a big third down play here for the Blue Devils, Mark. They've got to really stiffen here and force Fauquier to punt the ball, because they don't want to give up a long time-consuming drive here in the third quarter. And if Fauquier gets up another score, it's going to be lights out for the Blue Devils.
Well, he picked up 6, makes it 3rd and 4 here from the 24. Clock runs, 6:40 to play. Third quarter action, 19-7 Falcons. And the Falcons will send the trips to the left. 3 receivers, 1 bottom of your screen. Mason Hamilton behind Nolan. Blue Devils showing pressure. That's Polari then backing off. Here's Hamilton, hit in the backfield, dropped for a loss. He had 2 or 3 white jerseys there, Steve, including Culpeper's number 8, Griffin Tanner.
Yep. Mark, that was a very good defense right there, play by the Blue Devils. They got penetration and able to stop the running back. Now they force the punt. Now, for the Blue Devils, do you go after the punter, you know, and try to block it? Then you got to be careful running into the kicker, because they're 4th and 5. If they get run into the kicker, they'll Fauquier get the ball back.
The punter is Christian Friedel. Here's his kick. Going to be a short one. It's going to be angled for the out of bounds, and they're going to mark it out at about the Fauquier 45-yard line. So the Blue Devils, Steve, when they come back on offense, will be looking at, again, outstanding field position.
No more gifts by the Fauquier Falcons to the Blue Devils on this game. And now, you know, see, the Blue Devils can make them capitalize on this.
All right, this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. And the Blue Devils on offense will start this possession from the Falcon 43. 5:43 to play. Clock stop. With the change in possession. 5:43 to play here in the third. 19-7, the Falcons up. Garrett Damewood in motion for them. Keep it on the ground. Jakari Edwards drags a defender shy of the 35-yard line. We'll mark it at about the 37. They'll give him 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
Yep, and just keep driving, using your O-line. Your O-line is bigger than Fauquier's defensive line, and just run and hit with Polari and with Jakari Edwards, and just keep plowing right up that middle like they've been doing. And run at where Panagas lines up. You got to run right at him.
2nd down. Up 4, long 4, short 5. Sutherland high snap, gets it down. This is looks like Polari looking for a little running room. Certainly wasn't short on effort, determination. Maybe a couple yards shy, or maybe only a yard shy of that first down mark.
I think he might have it. I mean,
well, they are. Now, look where they're going to measure it.
I mean, Polari, that was the extra when he that extra kick, an extra second effort he gives. I mean, now here, what you do is make sure you get the first down.
You're on 3rd and 1. Wouldn't you go Polari straight ahead?
Yep.
You got Jakari Edwards back there. Need a good snap, need a good handoff. Watch Panagas there, playing the option. And they get it to Sutherland, gets it to Jakari Edwards, and he's wrestled out of bounds. inside the 25 at about the 23-yard line, picked up 10 yards and a Blue Devil first down.
It was kind of a bad pitch. I mean, it wasn't the most pretty pitch in the world, but it got the job done. So
now they'll have it at the Fauquier 23. And remember, they're trailing by 12 points, 19-7.
Yep.
Bennett Southern and company back to the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10. Clock stop for 12. Shakari Edwards, Falcons really showing pressure now. They back off. Play action, punt fake. Southern going to be in trouble and going to be sacked near the 30-yard line. And we got a little pushing going on now.
Yeah, flags are flying again.
Hoped it wouldn't happen.
58. Who's 58 for Culpeper? You got to learn.
That's Ross White, 58.
Yep. He's good, I understand you're trying to protect your quarterback, but we'll see if it's going to be a dead ball both sides.
All right, as I sort this one out, we'll tell you this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons. More than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. And we mentioned we're live this year. Our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. Still talking about this one, Steve.
Yep.
The officials conferring. We were talking about the college ranks for Saturday, and you mentioned your Cavaliers, your Wahoos are traveling to Illinois to play Illinois.
Yep. So they're out there in Champaign, Illinois.
And so
let's see what this official's going to do with the call here. They're going to mark it off against Culpeper.
Did he put up holding?
No, dead ball, personal foul.
Personal foul, I was going to say.
It's on 58. It's going to be on.
All the way back now to the 45-yard line.
See, that hurts your team. Look.
They had it at the 23.
Yeah, and look now. You got it all the way up to the 45-yard line. So that was a big penalty right there, and that's how you hurt your offense right there. You know, you got to. I get it. You want to protect your quarterback. I understand that, but you don't push and throw. Push a player right in front of the referee. You'll get tagged on it every time.
Well, are we going to get a chance to try to stump each other tonight or not?
I've been thinking.
I got one for you, but you just don't seem real receptive to that tonight.
I'm receptive.
No, I'm kidding. Well, I don't know if we're going to have time or not, Steve.
Oh, I know.
But I've got one just in mind for you. All right. Moving in the opposite direction, in reverse that is, Blue Devils now have it at the 45-yard line. And we're going to tell you, Grady Panigas giving chase to Bennett Sutherland. Sutherland throws on the run. Steve, this looks like this is incomplete, unless he had it long enough.
I think we're going to have roughing and passer.
Oh, wow.
There's a flag over here on the side. We'll see what the call is.
Yeah.
But it's deep. It could be interference, too. Let's see what the call is. The ref's coming up. This could be given pass interference. Yep. Against Fauquier. That's a 15-yard penalty. It's not going to give him a first down. But it's going to move the ball, up 15 yards. So the 15 yards they lost on the unsportsmanlike penalty, they now get about a chunk of it back on the pass interference.
And they're going to mark it at the 30. You look back on this and you say, well, they had it at the 23. That was their deepest penetration. So they started going in reverse. So now back at the 30. And 2nd and 17 from that spot. 3:34 to play. On the ground to go, Jakari Edwards. And he is still fighting for yards. They're coming kind of tough along the way. A little more pushing again. You're just going to have to break that up quickly, or it's going to be.
It's going to escalate into something.
Yeah.
Ref's got to get control on this. Culpeper doesn't want to go down, and Fauquier is, jumping on him. There's a flag again.
Yeah.
We'll see who it's on. There's a flag on the play. The official is going to be against Fauquier. Yep, dead ball. This is going to be a first down here.
And Steve, if you're the Falcons there, your coaches can't be happy about that.
No, you're right. I mean,
stop shooting yourself in the foot. You don't have to inflict self-injury, do you?
No.
You shouldn't.
It's going to be close. Still not going to be a first down. It's going to be just short. So it's going to bring up third down here, Mark.
Yeah, at the 15-yard line, though. But, Steve, obviously the Blue Devils are moving in the right direction now.
Yep.
You have it down at the 15. You know you're in contention. And you have a third down and short here. So you get a first down if you the Blue Devils, and then you got 4 downs to punch it in from inside this red zone. They're already inside the red zone, which starts at the 20, of course.
Yeah, they need to score here, Mark, before the fourth quarter. They need to get this in and get it closer.
Back to the line of scrimmage because the Blue Devils now operating from the 15-yard line. This is Jakari Edwards fighting for yards. Tackled there by Fauquier's Kobe Link.
So that's going to be a first down for the Blue Devils. And now, come on, Blue Devils, just
you only needed a yard, right?
Yep, we need a yard.
So you got Edwards, you got Polari. Do they go strictly with them? Do they look for a short pass? Interesting.
Well, I'd still pound it up the middle. If there's the holes there, you got to use it. If not, maybe do play action a little bit. I don't see Culpeper do a lot of that to freeze those linebackers.
All right, here it is, 1st and 10 from the 13. Sutherland's gonna throw it to the end zone. This one looked like it was gonna be picked off, and then A.J. Marshall took it from him for the Blue Devil touchdown.
Touchdown, Blue Devils. A.J. Marshall with the theft of it looked like the ball was gonna be intercepted, Mark.
Yeah.
And then A.J. Marshall just reached in there and took it right away from him.
Well, that's worthy of another look, don't you think? Let's go to replay, Steve.
Well, here it is, Mark. Here's setting up. Bennett Sutherland had some time to throw, threw it down there into the corner, and the A.J. Marshall just took it right away from him. It looked like it was going to be intercepted by Fauquier. They took it away.
Uribe on for the point after. Kick is good. Our score 19-14. Well, one thing I'll say about it, Steve, we predicted a close game, and now 19-14 with still 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. You figure these two teams will still continue to battle on even terms till the very end.
They will, Mark, and now that's giving Culpeper maybe some momentum. Now they can come back. It was a good play by A.J. Marshall. Just took it right out of it wasn't really it was not the best thrown ball that Bennett Sutherland has made, but it was enough it was a jump ball basically, and A.J. Marshall just took it out of the receiver's hands.
We were watching that play unfold, and you think, oh, no, this is going to be another interception for Fauquier, and it looked like, as you said, the ball was really receivable by that defender, and it was almost like Marshall said, no, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, touchdown, and then the point after by Uribe. It's a 5-point game, 19-14 with 2:59 remaining. Well, Chris, anytime you want to come back in, Chris Frazier, we introduced earlier, is, of course, Eastern View's boys varsity head coach, but got an interest in other sports as well, including broadcasting. Chris, welcome aboard. What do you think of that pass play from Sutherland to Marshall? Did we sort of call it the way you think it played out?
Absolutely, and if you look at it, against Eastern View, A.J. Marshall made a really good play right around the same time in the game, and it energized them to another score. We'll see if it can happen for Culpeper tonight.
Well, here's on the return for the Falcons with a nice one. It was number 29. That is Aaron Lewis. Wait a minute. We mentioned his name earlier, Steve.
Yeah.
He had that touchdown for the Falcons in the second quarter.
So now the Blue Devils has got to really get aggressive here, Mark, on defense. I think they got to put a lot of penetration on the quarterback for Fauquier and, watch 33 and keep him in check.
Yeah, 33 is a reference to their starting tailback, Mason Hamilton, a sophomore. He leads the team in rushing. He's been their go-to guy back there. And like we said, they operated that power I last week against Brentsville District, changed it up later in the game. But so we've had quite a few penalty flags here tonight, Steve. It's been one of those things, every time a flag is thrown, obviously, you hope it's not too serious, and it always stops the action.
Well, the referee is talking to both the captains and both teams, say, knock it off, play clean football. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you will start throwing people out of the game. So, and the referee need to do it. They need to take control of this because there's a lot of chirping and a lot of late hitting going on in that scrum.
Absolutely. Well, give you a chance to tell you that this broadcast brought to you in part by K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arboris Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. That's K&M. From grass to trees, they aim to please. Falcons back on offense from their own 41. 19-14, they're up. Blue Devils have scored more recently. A.J. Marshall is back there. This one tipped, and then trying to bring it in was Fauquier's intended receiver, Eli Beinecker.
Yep. That was good coverage by Marshall. He had him covered pretty well. And I'm amazed at Fauquier's quarterback's arm. He can wing it out there, but Marshall made a good play defensively.
And what's good news on the back end of that play, there was no penalty flag for once.
Yeah, and Marshall almost got it because he went to like this and wanted to show himself off. The official was going to stop. You can't do that in high school. They'll throw that flag.
Yeah, that's a fumble on the play, and then Mason Hamilton was able to pounce on it for his teammates. They'll lose a little bit of yards here. Yeah, like we're saying, they're not going to tolerate that. So now, Steve, I think if you're the Blue Devil defense, you're looking at, hey, you're in a pretty good position here on 3rd down and 14. You just need to stop. You give the ball back to your teammates.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right here. Get a stop right here, force them to punt. Now you can give that ball back to your offense.
So it's 3rd and 14 for Ben Nolan, the quarterback. Mason Hamilton behind him. This one caught near midfield, or is it?
Yeah, they're saying incomplete. Well, they didn't say he caught it.
The intended receiver was number 10,
Yeah,
Eli Beinecker. They ruled it an incomplete pass, and now it'll bring up 4th down. So the defense, Steve, does do its job. They're going to get the ball back, minus any miscue, and A.J. Marshall back there would love to get his hands on a ball to return off this punt.
He would, and make sure, Coach Ford and staff tells his offense no turnovers. You got to keep the ball. We got to make a good drive and go on top.
Punter, Christian Friedel, punts it at about the 25. This one's off his foot. Shanked this one, but it does take a pretty good Falcon roll. Blue Devils wisely get away from it. They're going to down it at about the 38-yard line for a punt that didn't look like it was going to amount to much. He talk about a gift. You got a nice gift of a very friendly roll.
That's UBG, ugly but good.
Yeah. Well, every time you say that, I think of the passes of one of your former greats, Billy Kilmer.
Yeah, you're right.
Passes. Yeah.
Wounded ducks.
Yeah. But they'd get to where they were intended to go, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's where they would say it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to work. All right, Culpeper back on offense. They're going to start this one from their own 38. We have 1:46 to play. 3rd quarter action. Home team Falcons on top for the moment, 19-14. Let's see if Blue Devils have some sort of renewed confidence. Not on this play because Grady Panagas has dropped Jakari Edwards for a loss. That's how first down blows up for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, I mean, it was too easy for Panagas. Right there was there's nobody blocking him. And he just goes right in there and just, wraps his arm, made a good tackle on Edwards.
Sure did. Brings up 2nd down now and up 14.
That's that wrestler in the Mark. I mean, that's what, wrestlers are used to, grabbing people. They don't want to just give the shoulder tackle.
Well, I wanted to see where they marked this one, Steve. Looks like it's at the 35. Back to the run they go, and this means Polari busting out. And he was about one tackle away from perhaps going the distance, and now we got to watch out here because we got a couple players doing a little more shoving. Yep, they threw the flag, and they threw it in the direction of the Blue Devil player.
Yeah, 23. Who's that? Who's 23?
23 is James Miles.
Yeah, he's going to be, he's already coming off. But he just cost the Blue Devils 15 yards trying to get in there and, after what the referees told him to do.
Well, I'll tell you, Steve, let them sort it out because I want to get a couple more spots in because I'm going to mention Battlefield Automotive willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book fair trade value along with a free trade appraisal. That's Battlefield Automotive, 540-547-3673. Want to go back to K&M Lawn and Garden and our Bars Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. That's K&M. From grass to trees, they aim to please. Now they have marked it off, Steve, all the way back to the Blue Devil 41-yard line.
Unreal, Mark. Unreal. Bad. I mean, now it's like first and forever. And again, you just put your team in bad spot. You don't need to be chesting up and trying to, show them your manhood, basically.
Well, at the line of scrimmage now is at the 41 at Culpeper. They have to get to the Fauquier 34 for a first down, and it is first and 25.
Yep.
And a little delay out there as far as getting the action. We watched Coach Ford across the way there, and he's trying to be heard.
Well, he's questioning the spot. Where was the foul occurred? They're moving it way, way back, but we'll see what the officials doing. They're talking. Somebody was thrown out. He was thrown out of the game.
We have 53 seconds remaining here in this third quarter.
Was he thrown out of the game?
I couldn't tell.
He wasn't thrown out of the game, so he was taken out of the game by the Culpeper. But that hurts your team. You just you put your team in just puts them in a bad position. You're trying to win a football game.
You've seen incidents where both teams' players just didn't take the high ground and say, nope, not participating in that. Don't do it. Don't care what you do. But no, it's just that, and so it's really on both sides there that we're seeing this tonight. Back to the run go the Blue Devils, trying to run away from Grady Panagas with Jakari Edwards. Panagas holds on, then he got some support from his teammates. They bring Jakari Edwards down after he got across the 45 out to the 47. So he picked up 6.
Well, Mark, those outside linebackers like Panagas, they're not very big. If you can just get a lineman or block on them and then not let them run unimpeded to the the running back or the quarterback, I think we can, drive this football. But we're going to see what Culpeper's going to do now. They've got to.
Got Cole Plaster in motion, and under 10 seconds to play here in this third quarter. This could be the last play. Sutherland on the option. Got away from, slipped one defender, went forward to about the 45 of Fauquier. And that's how our third quarter is going to end, with the Falcons on top, 19-14. Let's take a break, come back for the fourth quarter right after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book fair trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, More than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Pound & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Easterview High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
Welcome back to our broadcast and the start of the fourth quarter. Witnesses the Blue Devils on offense. They stick to the run. That was Jakari Edwards, and he runs right into the grass. Fauquier's number 5. It's Chase Leeser.
See, I like to see the Blue Devils now be ball control, march on down the field with the running game, and then take it in to score a little time left on the clock.
Second 11. Lost 1 on first down. 2 receivers to the right. Back on the ground they go. This is Jakari Edwards lowering his shoulder and is going to be denied entry to the 40-yard line. At the 41. Picked up 4. Bring up about 3rd and 7 here. Opening minute, Steve, with this fourth quarter. What do you think of the third?
I liked it as far as Culpeper. They found their running game. I just didn't like the unsportsmanlike penalties that they're getting. They got to get away from that. That doesn't help you, and basically get back to football. But I think here in the fourth quarter, you got to start controlling that line of scrimmage.
3rd and 7 here. And it'll be Polari. He did break a tackle. Gets to the outside. There goes Polari, the stiff arm. And he didn't want to go down. Picked up great yardage. And a Blue Devil first down, and that last guy made contact with him, was greeted rudely. Steve, that was Eli Beinecker, and Polari just powering his way for yardage.
I like how that kid runs, Mark, and you know what? You give him the 1-2 punch of Edwards and Polari, and the way he runs hard, and he gets under the defense's pads and is able to knock him back. But now Fauquier looks like they're going to call timeout because their defense is getting tired, and that's what the Blue Devils need to take advantage of. Fauquier's getting tired. That's where you want to lean on your running game and your big boys up front.
All right, our timeout sponsor is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. That's the UVA Community Credit Union at uvacreditunion.org. All right, Steve, we've got 10:32 to play in the fourth. Anybody's game, but again, we predicted it to be a pretty evenly matched, skill-wise. These two teams, both 0-2. Somebody's going to get in the win column tonight.
I agree. That's a good observation. But we'll, like I said, the Blue Devils right now, they've got the momentum and they got to keep it.
All right. Mention our last sponsor this year is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, it's 718-7556. And Chris Frazier visiting tonight. He's going to be filling in for Steve probably this season at some point, right?
Next Friday.
Next Friday. Chris, we'll bring you back in here momentarily. Let's see how this play unfolds first. As Sutherland's on the option, going to keep it, and he's going to be upended near the sidelines there. Chris, welcome back. Your thoughts about the third quarter, and then looking at the Blue Devils, where they are right now, what do you think about their situation?
Third quarter definitely limited Fauquier on offense. They were able to kind of keep the tempo and run the ball. Right here, I mean, in the red zone, they have to score and punch this in and then limit the big plays for Fauquier and then just run it out.
Well, are you like Steve and I in the sense that you like the combo running attack of Jakari Edwards and Devin Polari?
Absolutely. I think Polari and Edwards finish this thing out.
They're back there alongside Sutherland. Edwards gets the call, gets behind his blockers, and he runs into Kobe Link, number 22, makes the initial hit, and then gets some help from his teammates, makes the stop. Let's see where they have it here now. let's check that spot.
3rd down and 1.
Looks like 3rd and short.
From the, hard to pick up that angle there.
It's going to be 3rd and short.
From?
Looks like the ball's on the 7.
7, all right. We have a winner. Get warm those pipes up, Steve. Vocal cords got movement both sides of that football, and that results in finger pointing. Who's guilty?
It's going to be, I think this one's going to be against Fauquier. They jump first.
They said Culpeper jumped first.
Oh, they did?
Culpeper said, no, you guys jump. Well, they can't both be right, can they?
No, but see what the call is. They're pointing,
Yeah.
be half the distance to the goal. 5-yard penalty, so it'll go 2.5 yards. First down.
Tell me about Culpeper's number 74, Steve, Jaden Johnson. 6'2", 270.
Big kid.
He was in there. He was signaling, hey, it's against Fauquier.
Yeah.
Looks like Jaden Johnson was right.
1st and goal from the 4-yard.
All right, that's clarity. 1st and goal from the 4. You got 4 chances here to punch it in, Steve. And you got Jakari Edwards and predictably Devin Polari in the backfield. That's Cole Plaster in motion. Here's the snap. Oh, it's bobbled. Sutherland keeps it. Going to lose some yardage. I think that was designed to go to Polari. It looked like it was snapped and hit Sutherland's shoulder.
It did. It was supposed to be a direct snap to Polari, but it hit Sutherland. So lucky to hold on to that ball, Mark.
Do you think it was intended as a direct snap to Polari?
I don't know. Maybe, but that was a bad snap all around. If Sutherland was to get it, he should have gotten it right in front, so he was able to complete the handoff. But we'll see. Could have been a direct. I thought it was a direct snap.
Well, you know what? He lost 4 yards on the play. Makes it 2nd and 8.
Culper's got to get in here. They've got to score here. This is an ample opportunity.
Same formation with Edwards and Polari on Sutherland's flanks. Sutherland going to fake it. He's going to look for an end zone player, or shy of the end zone actually was Jakari Edwards. And let's check the spot. It's going to be short. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 3. It looks like.
Yep.
So he picked up 5 yards. Did Edwards on the reception.
So it's going to be 3rd down with the ball on the 4. So it's 3rd and goal, correct? Yep.
Right. Looks like they've got it. Is it? Yeah, it is at the 4. From the 4. So he picked up 4 yards. All right. 2 chances now to crack it in from 4 yards out. Because a touchdown will put the Blue Devils ahead 20-19. 8:46 to play here in this 4th quarter. 19-14 Falcons. Could change here any moment. It's going to be the fake. It's going to be Sutherland. He's diving for the pile-on, and he's in there from 4 yards out.
Touchdown, Blue Devils! Sutherland from 4 yards out on the quarterback keeper gets to the pylon. Touchdown.
Right, and now it's 20-19. So the Blue Devils have the lead, Steve. And will they go for 2 or just go for the point after here?
I would go for the point after. Puts you up 21-19.
Yeah, but then a field goal wins it for Fauquier.
That's true.
So you almost have to go for 2 here, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you have to go for 2.
Yep.
I could be wrong.
You're right, yeah, because that'll put them up a field goal.
Yeah.
It'll be 20.
Because even if you don't get it, a field goal is still going to beat you if you get the point after. So they line up for 2. Now the lone running back alongside Sutherland this time is Jakari Edwards. Sutherland, a few more instructions for the offensive line. Direct snap, and now a reverse. Now Plaster's looking to throw it to the end zone. Going up, Sutherland unable to bring it in. Boy, he bobbled it a couple times. How about that? How about drawing up that play where you go reverse and then you get the Plaster throwing it to his quarterback?
It was pretty well executed, Mark, but I thought Bennett was able to come down with it, but he bobbled it, or maybe a Fauquier defender got a hand in there. I don't know, but it was a good play. I liked it.
I did too.
It just didn't get finished. The execution was good, but the finish was not.
Yeah, I think it was a gutsy play call. If I could talk to Coach Ford right now, I'd probably say that was a great call.
It was. I mean, but Fauquier was chasing down Plaster. But he had to get rid of it, so he had to put a little air under it. But I thought Bennett came down in the corner of the end zone. So now Culpeper's up to 19. Let's see, now you got to put it on your defense.
But again, they had to go for the 2-point. I really like the play they drew up for that one. And I had several players in the mix. And, pretty good coverage by the Fauquier defender, too.
Yep.
I mean, they weren't fooled necessarily on the play.
They defended it well. To give them credit.
Yeah. So it's 20-19 in favor of the Blue Devils. Is that their first lead of the night?
Yes.
Yeah. And it comes at an important time. We're in the fourth quarter. 8:40 to go in this one. And our R.J. Uribe will tee it up for the Blue Devils.
And let's ask Chris. He's got an updated score on the Eastern View Stafford.
And as he does that, I tell you what, they got a dangerous return man, the Falcons do, in David Mayfield. And I know that R.J. Uribe and his teammates are well aware of that fact. And I suspect they'll try to kick away from him, and they do. It's going to be a short kick, going to be fielded by one of the upbacks. That's Panagas. Panagas goes on offense. Up in it and tackled by Culpeper's number 28, and that is Talik Thomas.
And we got a player hurt, but I think that's why the flag is thrown.
Got a Blue Devil player injured. Is that Edwards?
Edwards, yeah. The official is throwing it. He got cut down pretty good. Got hit with a chop block, I think.
Yeah, it looks to me like he's in pain.
Yeah, I mean, he got hit.
Chris Frazier come in on that play. I know it was away from the ball, but as you look at an athlete being attended to by the athletic trainer and head coach now, do you see a player in pain as I see it, or could it be just something minor?
No, it looks like athletic trainer Wolf out there is checking out his knee, like you said, with a cut block or something like that. But hence the flag in there as well. Doesn't look like he's cramping or anything like that.
Yeah, now it looks that's a cramp.
Well, that's going to be, and there's that shot block call you were talking about, Steve. Yeah, no doubt. And the players get hurt from it, right?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, back when I was playing in the old ice ages, we could cut block anywhere on the field, and they taken that away. And I know for the interest of safety, but
yeah. Well, we get a round of applause here. Kari Edwards is walking off on his own to the sidelines. Boy, he's had really a great game tonight, hasn't he?
Sure has.
If you combine Edwards and Devin Polari, that's been their 1-2 punch, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Polari and Edwards has been great, and if they can get the ball back here, you just ride those two, run those, hopefully get to those second, third, and shorts, and just keep getting first downs. But the Blue Devils have to get a stop here.
Fauquier has it, looks like at their own 18-yard line. Well, actually, it's closer to the 20. Let's call it the 20. So we know the quarterback is Ben Nolan. Main running back is Mason Hamilton. Ball is loose in the backfield, and it's picked up by Mayfield, David Mayfield.
That ball was on the ground, Mark. Could have been dangerous if Culpeper had picked up on it. Mark, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Stump you. The Washington Commanders play Sunday. They play the Jacksonville Jaguars. What is the significance of that game for the Commanders and the Jaguars?
Well, never heard of that first team you mentioned. And Jaguars, no idea.
I know.
But Johnny says he may know because I think he likes that team you mentioned.
Did I stump you?
Well, that's one of those I really don't care to know. So I'm going to say, let me turn it over to Johnny. I've never heard of that team you mentioned, by the way. Go ahead.
Wait, I actually get to do this? This is fantastic.
Well, this guy's heard of him, so direct the stump to him.
This is the first time in NFL history that a quarterback has started for week one for 3 different teams in 3 consecutive seasons.
True. Wow. And then also, what is the significance? Doug Peterson was the last time was Carson Wentz's coach when they were at Philadelphia.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, you stumped me.
Yeah.
It's interesting anecdotal information as Nolan goes downfield, and I think the fans were looking maybe for a late hit. All right. Well, I had to defer the stump attempt to Johnny, and he didn't get stumped, right?
No.
But you were
got half right. He gets half credit.
But you
gotta show him some love sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try to get this back at you, but let's forget the love thing for a second and say that when you were talking about UVA playing tomorrow, You said they were going up to Illinois, and they like to play smash mouth football up there. Well, think about the Premier as this ball is loose and then kick. And they're going to let it bounce down, of course. And Culpeper will have great field possession. I want to say, you talk about the Premier smash mouth player from a defensive standpoint, played at Illinois, went on to play for the Bears, and that was
Dick Butkus.
the great Dick Butkus.
Knew that
Yeah. That was just, he always makes everyone's top 10 of all time football players. But anyway, so we've got 7:39 to play in this one, Steve, and Blue Devils go back on offense with a 1 point lead. But we've talked about it, Chris has talked about it, that 1-2 punch of Jakari Edwards and Devin Polari has worked well for them. But what about the status of Edwards, you think?
Well, he had cramps. He's there on the sideline. I still think we'll see him in. He had to get some fluids. But, Mark, how important was that the Blue Devils, while we were talking, they stopped Fauquier on 3 and out. Now they've got to go to ball control football. I'd be just hand it off, trying to run that clock.
Well, with great field position, too. They have it at the Fauquier 35. High snap to get it down to Devin Polari. He tries to bounce off. Well, he can't bounce away from the grass, but he can keep those legs churning and pick up a few yards along the way.
Again, I go back, going to shotgun. I like to see Bennett Sullivan under center. You don't see a lot under center here in this day and age in high school ball. But, you just sometimes with those high snaps, you don't want to get a turnover and give the momentum back to Fauquier. You want to make sure you're hitting it and just.
Sounds good to me on 2nd down and 7. Ball up to 32. Well, now you start to think, if you're the Blue Devils, Steve, the clock can soon become an ally of yours.
It sure can. They better know what's in it because you can't see it on the field.
Polari, again, straight ahead, inside the 30, down to about the 28. And the tackle made there by Fauquier's number 56, Xavier Crute.
Who's X. X.
Yep.
Don't they call him X or something?
Oh, X, short for Xavier. And we're saying X Crute.
Yep. And Culpeper's going to take the time, let this clock run down. Now the clock's Culpeper's friend, but they've got to convert here, 3rd and short.
Well, you're up by a point. You're in position where you can score something down here, but you don't want to score too soon.
No.
You want to use that clock and then cap the drive with a score, having used as much of the clock as you possibly can. So, as you say, certainly taking their time here. It's 3rd and 2. Polari gets the call. It's going to be a little bit short, and that ball may be loose.
No,
it's not. Well, the Falcons say they have it. Let's see what the man in the white hat has to say.
No, I think it's still Culpeper's ball.
All right, no signal.
Coming
up. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a little or no gain. It's going to be 4th and short. You got to go for it here, Culpeper. Punt's not going to do you any good here, and you're out of rebase field goal range. So you got to really put it on your offensive line right here. This is the game, I think, right here to get this convert this 4th down.
Right, big play for both teams. Obviously, the Falcons want to stop it, get the ball back, and have some clock to work with. Blue Devils convert here. They're going to have a license to burn the clock for 4 more plays at least. Now someone's going to call a timeout.
Yeah, they're going to talk about it because they got to make sure they execute this play well, Mark.
Right.
Because it's a pivotal point right here in this ball game.
Timeout taken by the Blue Devils. Let's see how we're doing tonight, Steve, with mentioning everyone so deserving, and we appreciate their support. And that includes K&M, Lawn and Garden, and Arborist Supplies. Now located where? Directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. Of course they do. Well, as this game, look, we said it was going to be close. You don't get too much closer than 20-19. I guess it's possible.
No, you're true. But I think here with 5:20 to go, crucial play. Coach and staff is telling those Blue Devils, hold on to that football, good execution on the snap, and just run Polari. I mean, he's got to be able to pick up this, looks like about 2, maybe a 3 yards. So, and Jakari Edwards coming in too.
But Edwards back into the game. That's good news for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, they're going to say 4th and 2. It's a long 2.
From the 27. Blue Devils convert here, Steve, again, they'll have 4 downs to get closer, 4 downs to work the clock, 4 downs to deny the Falcons possession. But it's contingent on what happens here. That's Sutherland making the cut, picking up yardage and picking up a Blue Devil first down.
Good call, good play by Bennett Sutherland. We're watching him grow up here, Mark, in this game. We're watching the maturing Bennett Sullivan right now and what he's been able to learn. He's a junior. He's now coming into his own. That was a good play. Way to read it and cut back and get that yardage.
Absolutely, well said. And new set of downs and clock running, 5 minutes and counting. 20-19 Blue Devils. They have it 1st and 10 at the Falcon 18. And as you pointed out, yeah, no doubt the clock is definitely the Blue Devils' friend here.
Yep.
Falcons recognize it. They've got to get the ball back to their offensive teammates. Here's a bad snap. Southern picks it up and going to have to take a knee and go down. Now, Steve, this is what you don't want to see the team going in reverse, and that's where it begins.
Yeah, I know. It's just like I said, bad. You got to have good execution. And you're in that shotgun, that corner, and that center's been, the Tucker Dean's been sitting there hitting high, sailing it high on those on his snaps. So now it looks like it's going to be ball to 32. 2nd and 19.
And we do have a final score from the Eastern View game. They defeated Stafford 28-0.
Oh,
wow.
Good. Congratulations to Eastern View.
Well, then I had someone say, it's going to be a tough game tonight. Doesn't sound too tough. But, scores aren't always indicative of how a game, but 28-0, that's good. All right. Well, we got a whistle before Devin Polari can get untracked here.
They're going to delay a game against Culpeper. They're backing them up.
Yep, going in the wrong direction again. All right, this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. And also Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
Mark, that penalty's on the coaching staff, really.
Is
because
it?
they got to get the players to get the play called, and you're on a running clock, and that will delay a game.
They're saying 2nd and 24, and a whistle.
They're going to be holding, going back again, movement.
Well, if that works against the Blue Devils, just bring up 2nd and 29.
Yeah, they're going backwards. This is not what they wanted to be doing. They were down at the 18, the bad snap. See, that's what happened. Things out, now it looks like they're going to. Is that against Fauquier? Delay a game again.
Well, that's what you thought it was initially, right?
Again, because they don't have the clock here. It's off for some reason. And so they're trying to, in their head.
Yeah, the game math becomes a whole lot harder when you can't see the game clock here, especially for the coaching staff and for Sutherland to do that in his head.
Got the ball back now at the 38-yard line.
And you don't want to make any mistakes.
I'm going to pick up. They've got a long ways to go to get a first down. They're going to try Devin Polari outside. And Grady Panagas says, nope, not this time. Solo tackle. We talked about Panagas. Had a good game tonight for the Falcons, Steve.
He has. It's been a lot involved, a lot of tackles. And clock's still running. Or is it stopped? We call timeout. Oh. Timeout, Fauquier.
It is a timeout for Fauquier.
Yeah, they're sensing what they want that timeout, Mark. They know you got 3rd and 29. Coach Buckholder's going to tell us kids don't give up the big play. Culpeper's going to try to get something going, get deep, so they don't have to punt the ball. And, because this is a crucial point here in the game as well. You don't want to turn it over here at midfield to Fauquier.
All right, this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing, outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. And also, wanted to mention again, K&M Lawn and Garden and Arborist Supplies. now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M from grass to trees. They aim to please. All right, now after the timeout, let's reset our sights here and see where we are. Blue Devils are in possession, Steve, but they got to get a bunch to keep this football. They don't have to score, but they don't want to give the ball back to Fauquier either.
No. They, now they're going to just snap the ball.
Go to Polari, and he goes nowhere. Ball is loose. Blue Devils have it. Might have been
It's
down by contact anyway.
So now what do? You got to punt it.
Do you?
Well, yeah, it brings up 4th and 30.
Yeah,
Why do you
because you want to
give
give him a shorter field
Yeah.
if you can. That would mean R.J. Uribe, and then dropping back for Fauquier. Remember, they've got a dangerous return man in David Mayfield.
Well, then if I was the coaching staff, I'd be telling Uribe, do not punt to him. Punt to the corners.
The other fella back there, Andrew Olney, ahead of Mayfield. Mayfield is obviously the guy they want to get in possession of that football. And the Blue Devils, as you pointed out, they're going to use the clock. They're going to let it wind down to where they have to get the play off without getting another penalty. Here's good penetration, and Uribe has to kick it quickly. It's fielded at the 45-yard line, immediately tackled, but that's where Fauquier's going to take over on offense, Steve. You only need to go, well, they don't necessarily have to get a touchdown, but they've got a short field to work with here.
Well, Mark, again, Uribe was watching that rusher. I thought he jumped. I thought he might have got there over the line before the ball was snapped, but the officials say no. And that's what they didn't want to do with Culpeper right there, is just turn it over right here now and giving the Falcons good field position with 2:18 left to go in the game. And remember, all they got to do is get down there and get in field goal range to kick it. So
right.
Culpeper's got to come up big here.
And their place kicker is Kobe Link, number 22. They've used a different player for a previous kickoff, however. But if you're Ben Nolan, the quarterback, of course, he's got his primary ball carrier, Mason Hamilton, back there. Hamilton gets the carry and trying to make a little something out of nothing because they met him quickly and stopped the play before it could unfold and develop into anything there.
And 21 for Culpeper seems hurt.
21 for Culpeper is Justin Elkins. Yeah.
He looks like he's on the bottom of that pile. He's hurt.
Well, with an injured player on the field, why don't we take a break and come back when the action resumes? Keep it right here on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Son, 825-3530. Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supply, 825-8371.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast. Falcon Field, the injured player, Steve, is Elkins, right?
Yep.
Justin Elkins, still being attended
Looked
to.
like they're tending to his ankle or something. He maybe got some weight on there. He was in the bottom of that pile. But, Mark, what I was going to say is Culpeper, they really would have been a good coaching call, would have been on 3rd and long, do a quick kick, have Sutherland kick the ball, nobody down there. You wouldn't have the pressure, and then they would have had the ball deep in their own territory and not get, hurt by that ball, poor snap and Uribe dropping the football, and look where we are. So
yeah, and over the years that quick kick has been a good ploy.
Mm-hmm. That would have been a good
it's
time
about
to call
timing
it.
when you call it, right?
That would have been a good time to call it.
Well, good point. Chris, you said we had a final Eastern View, 28-0 Stafford. And then good news returns here is Justin Elkins is on his feet, but going to be moving, it looks like, ever so slowly.
Yeah, it looks like he rolled up on his ankle. So.
Yeah, and if you're Culpeper here, you really just need to limit the big play. We've seen it with Fauquier's number 4 and a few others. I mean, he can throw the ball really well downfield. A.J. Marshall's going to lock him up.
Yeah, right. You're talking about that Falcon receiver, David Mayfield. And, he made an impact in that first half. They've sort of taken him a little bit out of the game, have the Blue Devils. Certainly they're going to kick away from him. But now with the Falcons on offense, you're right. He's probably their threat there, David Mayfield. But as you pointed out, A.J. Marshall likely matches up against him. And he does. Falcons looking for a big play. Nolan stepping up because the pocket collapsed back to the 45-yard line. That means to the line of scrimmage, no gain. Now the Blue Devils, Steve, showing definitely some spirit there on defense.
Yep, third down, clock still running because, it wasn't a pass, it wasn't incomplete. And, time's running out for Fauquier.
Well, we're down to a minute 33 and counting. Fauquier has it 3rd and 9 from the 46-yard line. Clock ticking at a minute 25 to go. They trail by a point. They don't need a touchdown, they just need a score. That would mean a field goal. Down by a point, 20-19. Here come the Blue Devils. Falcons look like they pick it up. Here's a pass downfield, and it's picked off by Cole Plaster, who goes to the ground to avoid any chance of a turnover, Steve, and
Good
to give
play.
the ball back to, that's a smart play. It's not sometimes what you do, it's what you don't do, right?
Yep, it's
You
smart.
decided not to run it downfield. And you're already going to have great field position at the 40. You've got a minute 7 to play. All you have to do really is hold on to the football from
Right,
this
and
point out.
I wonder if Fauquier might be out of timeouts.
And that's
So-
going to be a huge factor. You're right. If they're out of timeouts and you can't stop it with a minute 7 to go.
All you do is just kneel.
Right.
Kneel down. And they just get now, if they're not out of timeouts, Culpeper might have to, run a little bit here. And they're talking to the official. So wins the best time. And they're going to have a man behind Sutherland. That's going to be A.J. Marshall. Good coaching call there because if the ball gets past Sutherland, you got Marshall back there to pick up the ball.
He's really what you would call a safety valve,
A safety
right?
valve, exactly.
Yeah. Well, Chris Frazier, you got to like what you've seen with that interception, and now the Blue Devils in position to close this one out.
Absolutely, Plaster dropped from that corner spot and just cut right under that post.
And now Sutherland takes the first knee. And I don't guess the Falcons can stop it,
No,
Steve.
they can. They're out of timeouts, I think. Yep, they
Yeah.
are.
So we're under a minute and counting. I think Sutherland has to do that once more.
Yep.
So barring a major miscue, unlikelihood, of course, the Blue Devils look like they're going to get out of here tonight with a 2019
Win.
yeah.
And then who they got next week?
Is it, let's look at the schedule before we go. Is it Liberty?
Yeah, they're at Liberty, and you got to go to Brook Point with Eastern View. Or
Is
at
that where
home.
we're-
It's at home. I guess Brook Point is at Eastern View, I believe.
So it's a good possibility that our next broadcast would be next Friday, Eastern View and Brook Point. Well, that ought to be a good game, Chris Frazier. Brook Point, as you know, final seconds taking off 15. And this is going to be a big win tonight for the Blue Devils. To come up to Warrenton, play in Fauquier on the road against an evenly matched team, they sort of persevered to the end. And, of course, the difference there, Plaster getting the interception. What else did you see?
Blue Devils just turned it around in the second half. I mean, look at Fauquier, what they could do in the third quarter, and the Blue Devils just matched it. And they were able to get turnovers at the right time and finish it out on top.
Well, very well said. Chris, thanks for joining us. And just to remind the viewing audience, you're going to join us next week and fill in for Steve. I look forward to calling the game with you next week. Great job tonight. And
Really good job.
all right, Steve, your final thoughts as the two teams.
Well, again, Culpeper, did what they had to do, Mark, in the end to score and to come out here with a big win. It looked like Fauquier outplayed the majority of the game, a lot of turnovers, but Culpeper persevered at the end and made some good plays, and now they come out with a win, big win for the Blue Devils.
All right, well said. All right, once again, our final score from Falcon Field, Blue Devils 20, Falcons 19. For Nicole back in the studio, Johnny behind the camera, Chris Frazier, his input tonight, and of course Steve Peacock. I'm Mark O'Connell saying thanks for watching and supporting Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network. Have a great weekend, everybody. So long, and we'll see you hopefully next Friday for the Cyclones versus Blackhawks of Brook Point. Good night.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.